I'm about to bring on a ton of fantasy experts to expose them, to see if they're actually experts, if they actually know what they are doing, because we know that I do not for sure. But let's go ahead. Let's load up a fantasy football draft before our first guy comes on. Standing right outside the screen here. We are in. All right, there's 6 spots open in this Best Ball Mania draft with us. And I only have 15 left of these this year, but I don't know how many our first guest has done. Avery from Domain Fantasy Football coming all in. Came down to Austin, Texas from Indianapolis to hang out with us. We have people from Canada, Australia, Indianapolis. Hey, not too bad of a flight from Indy.
I mean, it's 2.5 hours, but it is hot as crap here. How do you live here? It is so I'm sweating so much, dude.
Well, right now we are outside, so that's why the suit jacket's not on. I was going to bring it to y'all, but it is what it is. Thank you, people, for stopping by. A-Rod says, I like the running back video from earlier.
Boom.
Yeah, honestly, it was good, but the Jonathan Brooks take was pretty bad. I don't know who had that one.
I think I could call a meth head in the comments.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I look like a meth head? I mean,
but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so we're sitting here at pick 3. What are you doing at pick 3, my guy?
I think you have to still go Tyreek Hill. I'm assuming it's going to be Christian McCaffrey and CeeDee Lamb, and then I'm really just taking whoever's left of those 3 guys. I mean, you've done so many of these, unless you want to mix it up and keep it spicy and take one of the running backs here. I think with the way that wide receivers are going off the board in these drafts, especially, I think you've got to take Tyreek Hill. So
for sure. I mean, in your regular redraft league, maybe you can make an argument. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have phenomenal wide receiver values later. But here on Underdog, where wide receiver values later are going to be extremely hard to come by. We're going to be able to get some good running backs.
Yeah.
Instead, we are going to get I have had Lamb fall to us at 3 lately, just given the overall contract extension issues in Dallas. Do you have any concerns at all with Lamb?
No,
Any at all?
He's going to get paid.
Yeah, that's exactly what
it even came out today, like that Jerry Jones, like they were actually like talking and making progress, which again is no surprise. The Cowboys are complete idiots if they don't pay him before the season.
Well, hey, Tyreek Hill off the board.
Just take him.
So we're going to go ahead. We are going to get CeeDee Lamb. And that's exactly what I've been saying. I mean, like, how many instances have we had where a wide receiver's this talented and this young and doesn't get paid? Like, really,
it doesn't happen.
The only instance, like, a team didn't want to pay an elite receiver and they traded him was Tyreek Hill. Exactly. At least in our generation.
And it was the Chiefs, and the Chiefs don't pay anybody, right?
Yeah.
So, like, the Cowboys, I mean, if they don't pay CD, they're stupid. But I do think Jerry Jones is somewhat senile at this point. However, I don't think he's senile enough not to pay CeeDee Lamb. So I'm not worried about it at all. Getting CeeDee Lamb at 3 in one of these drafts is, in my opinion, awesome.
Awesome. Well, Cody says been watching a lot of Domain lately. Really enjoyed their format. Keep it up, guys.
Appreciate it, Cody.
Yeah, I went over to Indy. I set up their entire studio.
You did.
Okay, guys, here's what you got to do.
You would know about in-person streaming, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Exactly. I was like, here's my setup. I know this is top tier. I know this is the highest production quality possible. But I know you're not going to be able to get to this, but you can try to emulate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I took them under my wing, my flock wing, of course. I tried to teach them a little bit about audio, a little bit about video. They're halfway there. One of these days, they'll fully be there. But
you'll learn more. I mean, look at that. We're great entertainers, but we're not experts. I completely agree with you, my guy. I am not an expert. I'm an idiot. So if you're watching expecting expert analysis, then you're expecting
that's I told you I'm exposing these guys. But real quick, if you think that they're idiots, we're going to be drafting every single night on this live stream. If you think I'm an idiot, I'll be drafting every single night until the season starts on Underdog Fantasy. So of course, you want to hop in a draft with us? The link's still in the description, still in the comment section, still in the live chat. I draft every night. They're best ball, no time commitment at all during the year. So I draft hundreds of teams every year. So I won $150,000 on Underdog 2 years ago. Use code FLOCK. You're going to get my 2024 rankings, 2024 draft guide, 2024 ADP consensus cheat sheet, plus a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000 and a Christian McCaffrey special pick'em, more than less than half a total yard. So make sure you take advantage of that in the live chat. You had to hear that in person, at least.
I mean, hearing it in person is infinitely better than hearing it over stream. I mean, my life has changed.
I know. I'm a little talented with that. I don't think Avery's ever heard that we won $150,000 2 years ago, but I'm going to make sure.
Did you seriously?
I'm going to make sure he knows now.
Through Underdog drafts you did?
Did through Underdog
drafts. I've not
drafts.
heard that 1 million times.
Yeah. Okay, so here we have Wilson, Puka, Harrison going off the board. Harrison actually is around 1 ADP on Underdog now. Taylor makes his way up to pick 10. That's what I actually saw Henry say this in the chat earlier, but saying I'm seeing Bijan and Hall go higher and higher lately with all the new people in the drafts. And yeah, you are kind of seeing that where as these new drafters hop on Underdog, You are seeing the running backs creep up. Like here, even Devon Achane goes at pick 19 to Breece Hall. That would have never happened a month ago. Jonathan Taylor round 1 would have never happened a month ago. So I've actually been like, when I'm in the early part of the 6th, I've been like taking Rachaad White and those guys here just because I've seen the overall board changing over the past month.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame too because I feel like there was a really good period there where you were getting such good running back value in underdog drafts.
Real quick, I'm not taking Cooper Kupp at the 2. I'm not taking Cooper Kupp at pick 22.
Freaking don't.
Are we Adams, Kyron? I'm not taking Neighbors either. I'm fine with Ayuk.
I think it's Ayuk or Kyron. So
Ayuk or Kyron. We're going to get a wide receiver making it back to us no matter what. And as we were talking about, these running backs are kind of sliding up at this point. So might as well take Kyron Williams. My favorite start on Underdog up until this point kind of has been wide receiver, Kyron Williams. But now, as we were mentioning, like these running backs are
moving up.
They're creeping up.
Yeah.
I mean, Pacheco's now a 3rd-round pick consistently. It is a little bit tougher to get like Josh Jacobs there at pick 51 than it used to be. So I'm fine going Kyron at 22 and then just guessing what wide receiver will make it back.
I mean, Kyron's not making it to that point in the draft in any other format. Underdog is literally the only platform where he's going past the mid-second. So, I mean, I think it's still a good value.
But real quick, I see we have some questions in the chat. We'll get those in just 1 second. And yes, we are in
Mason's house.
my mansion.
It's crazy.
That's what I had told them. Underdog signed Bill Belichick, and Avery actually met Bill because Bill's been staying in the West Wing.
It's true. Yeah, he was here, and actually, he's actually hilarious. He's a really funny guy, and he's the life of the party. Believe it or not, I think it would be kind of boring if he weren't here. So.
I was telling him how I'm taking Bill Belichick under my wing. He's in intensive training. And once he has a couple months of drafts under his belt, then he can come on the live stream.
Yeah,
we're gonna have him shadow. He's just gonna sit in the back and watch for a while, but then maybe he can get a mic.
He's very willing to learn. I'll say that. Like I definitely didn't expect him to ask as many questions as he did, especially with him being a genius and all. But yeah, he's a fun dude, honestly.
Okay, so like I said, I refuse to take Neighbors just with how bad the offense is. I'm fine with any receiver here out of these 4 guys. So it's up to you. Mike Evans, Devonta Smith, DK Metcalf, DJ Moore.
And we got CD and Kyron.
You have Lamb and Kyron.
Honestly, I lean Evans here.
All right.
I still view Evans, with the touchdown upside, a tier above those guys, I think. But, I mean, people are drafting them all in the same range. I don't think you can go wrong taking any of them. I do like CD. CD's, I think pretty safe. So I'm just going to go for upside with Mike Evans, I think.
Yeah, I think I would give Smith the edge here if we thought that we could get Jalen Hurts on the way back around at pick 46.
Right.
But just with how the drafts have been going as of late, you have like no shot of doing that.
Yeah.
All right, let's fire through these real quick. Dang Shoot coming out with $20 donut. Thank you, my guy. 12-team Dynasty PPR double flex. We got Dynasty domain here, so this will help.
Yeah.
It's single quarterback, but you have Mahomes, Goff, Hall, Gibbs. Okay, so we have 2 cornerstone backs with Hall and Gibbs. We even have Etienne, Brooks, Roschon, AJ Brown, Puka, Wilson, London, Higgins, Rice, Sticky Ricky, Burton, Johnston, and Joku Komet. Should we trade a future first for Kelsey? I know it's a win now move, but to be honest, when you're this strong, I think you're already the favorite to win the league. I'd rather keep the flexibility. What I'd rather do with the team like this is take the future first and a depth receiver and go get Laporta.
Yeah, I mean, you're going for upside. When you have an elite value team like this, you are looking to up tier, right? Most of the time, we're encouraging people to down tier in dynasty leagues like this. But I don't know how you got this roster in a 12-team league or who you're playing with, but this is ridiculous. You need to go get somebody like Laporta. Go get the best and just freaking win your league.
Yeah. The True says, who do you take at the 101 in a super flex? If it's a super flex and then you only start total of 2 wide receivers and 1 additional flex, I think you just go Josh Allen. If you have a bunch of flex spots, then I think you can pivot to other things. A-Rod joining the flock. Thank you, my guy. Joe says, 10-team standard league, who should we keep, Achane or Puka? If it's a standard, I'm fine with Achane. If you think running back's going to get pushed up, non-PPR?
Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah, I agree.
Obviously, PPR, I'm going to go Puka.
Yes.
And then Daniel says, any player looking to target, it's a 14-team, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, Kyler, Achane, Warren, London, Olave, Ayuk, Pat Frymuth, and on the bench we have Rice. Here in a 14-team league, I think it's typically harder to do the 2-for-1 deal.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't see it happening, but let's see. 14-man PPR. I don't know. You have anybody in mind?
I think it's fine as is. I think it looks like a well-balanced team. Michael says, Superflex 12-team pick 5. What would your strategy be in the first 4 rounds? Going back to what we were talking about, if it's a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, super flex, I think you're going to go elite quarterback out the gate and then maybe get a running back in round 3 or 4.
Yeah, I agree.
But John, this is Avery. Hey, John claims he's going to be at the meetup. He's told me every single day over the past month that he'll be at the meetup.
He's going to meet you.
He hasn't bought a ticket yet.
John, if you're not going to be there, what are you going to be doing?
Exactly.
It's going to be, everybody's going to be there. Bill's going to be there. So we're going to have him there. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun, and you get half-price beer and all that, and we're all going to be there. It's still going to be hot, from what I understand.
Real quick, all the every fantasy quote unquote expert that we saw in the videos today, including myself, will be at the Flock meetup. It is this Thursday, Austin, Texas. So if you're in San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, I expect to see you there. I'm sorry we have to sell tickets. I have to tell the venue how many people are coming, but flockfantasy.store. Grab yourself a ticket. It's only $15. And like Avery said, we're doing half price beer. I'm bringing a bunch of free merch. I'm losing money on this. I promise you that. But see, Josh Allen goes here at 40. I love the elite quarterbacks around 4. I love the elite quarterbacks and the elite tight ends. I'm not even giving the option. We take Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are so much cheaper than they were even a year. When have you ever gotten Kelce outside of the second round? Like, when's the last time that happened?
This is my thing. This is why I can't. Sam Laporta is my second most drafted guy right now because look at this. Sam Laporta goes after Tank Dell, Rashee Rice, DJ Moore, Michael Pittman Jr. I think Sam Laporta could reasonably outscore these wide receivers.
I think so too. And I've been advocating, in like home leagues, standard redraft leagues, I've been saying, you can punt QB, you can punt tight end and get good value later. But at the tight end position, I've actually found that it's a little bit harder to do that. And so you are also getting these guys so cheap, Sam Laporta, Travis Kelce. And I will say, I like Trey McBride too. I think he can be hyper productive in that offense and get a ton of targets. And so I think you're getting these tight ends at a really reasonable price. And if you get them here, and Kelce at the 410 to me is kind of unfair. So I like that pick.
You have Stroud going at pick 47 to a team with no Houston Texans. And Calvin Ridley goes 48. So we could actually get a pretty strong value making it to us. Did we have any news with Amari today?
I didn't hear anything about Amari.
Doesn't practice. Though Amari undisclosed in a practice Tuesday, relays that the wideout will be present for a mid-session walkthrough. So that doesn't sound like it's serious. I think just from a unique ADP perspective, if you look at the overall tournament, trying to pair up Kelce with one of these guys that really haven't gone in round 5 all offseason, such as Amari and Pickens, I think it's a no-brainer. Like, if Amari falls, I'm sorry, you don't get an option. We go Amari Cooper.
I totally agree with you, actually. I haven't really seen him fall as far, so I think you go Amari here. I'm not worried about him not practicing either, by the way.
Okay, let's go. Yeah, we're going to go ahead. We're going to take Amari Cooper. I love this team. I
was going to say, this is a pretty good start. I mean, getting CD at 3 was nice, but then Kyron, getting Amari Cooper there, I'm thrilled with this. I mean, hey, I should just sit in here more often, I guess.
I know. Well... Honestly, I think the decision to go Kyron to pick 22 was kind of key here. Because if we would have gone with Adams, I think it would have been a fine team.
Sure.
But we have a lot of flexibility since we go Kyron there. Like, even if these drafters push up running backs a decent bit, we're still going to be fine.
Yeah. I like it.
John says, I'm on the website, but force me to use PayPal. I'm pretty sure you can just put a card in a PayPal, my guy. But I think my Venmo, if you want to Venmo me, you can just Venmo me $10. We'll give you a $10. Like I said, I just need to know if you're coming or not. Because I'm half convinced John doesn't even live in Austin. And he just looks up Austin restaurants and says that he likes them.
Hey, John, it's nice to meet you, man. I hope to see you at the meetup. It's going to be a lot of fun. Seriously, I'm excited to meet everybody there and hang out with people, and it's great. You guys are great on YouTube. We never see your faces. It's going to be nice to see people's faces. So,
well, I don't know about John's face, but Mason Dodd 10. All right, Mason DODD 10.
Have a bunch of requests.
That's only a John thing. But Blake says 12-team happy BR, single flex, 2 receiver, Allen Smith, McLaurin, Bijan, Achane, Andrews, Ridley, Javonte Keon, Brian Thomas, Charbonnet, Downs, Sticky Ricky, Jonathan Brooks. Hey, this is the Jonathan Brooks team. I think that it looks great. You have Brooks, so you get an extra IR spot. I would say drop Sticky Ricky if Ayuk's not traded by the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I mean, the receivers, you got what? Devonta, McLaurin, Ridley. I'm honestly higher on Ridley than most. Devonta McLaurin. I mean, you are looking at 3 guys there that are probably not gonna have wide receiver 1 upside this year. So with your receivers, I do like though that you have Bijan and Achane, and you have Brooks and honestly Javonte, who I'm sure you got after Brooks, but you've got 3 guys here you're comfortable starting at running back, and Brooks coming back later in the season will be great. So
real quick, Rome moving up. Rome goes at pick 60. Oh. Yeah, that team of 12 is taking all the risers. Mahomes, Rice have been big time risers. Rome's been a big timer. Anybody who's playing well in the preseason, that team of 12 is taken.
Yeah, it's interesting too. We talked about the risk on your team with rookies, and he's got Marv there, and he's got Rome Odunze. So that's an interesting build.
Well, see, I'm fine with taking all the rookies in underdog drafts. Going back to like what we were talking about with the rookies here, this video will come out very soon on this channel. But Avery was talking about taking too many rookies in your redraft league, and yeah, this team here that we're pointing out is sitting at rookie wide receivers: Keon, Brian Thomas Jr., Sticky Ricky, Jonathan Brooks. Yeah. So at that point, you're just kind of stuck in a situation where you're going to be limited on the waiver wire moves that you can make at the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. And none of those guys are really going to be projectable for your starting lineup early in the season. So I think it maybe suits you to move on from Sticky Ricky and pick up somebody that's going to give us something at the beginning of the year.
I agree.
But Elijah says, first overall pick, half PPR. I could keep St. Brown in the 2nd or Achane in the 10th. What are you thinking?
I'd probably keep Etienne at the 10th. I mean, that's pretty good value. St. Brown obviously is, locked in first round pick, top 5 pick this year. Yeah. I'm curious what you think about that one.
Yeah, because
it's close.
If you look at the opportunity cost between the two, I say most times in a keeper league, just keep the best player. But a second round pick is actually pretty valuable if you can only keep one guy. I'm not taking Deontay Johnson here. I'm sorry. I'm not taking Kyler since we don't have a stack. You're allowed to go Montgomery, Christian Watson, Hollywood, Brian Thomas, JSN. Go with any of these guys.
Honestly, I think of all these guys, the guy that I lean the most is JSN. So I think we'll go there. With JSN, again, you're going to be basically...
Actually, if you love JSN, can we go with someone else and get him on the way back around?
Do it.
We're going to go...
There you
Let's go Watson. The reason being is I think we kind of want to set ourselves up with quarterback outs if we don't get guys later on since we didn't take an elite option. So if we go Christian Watson, we can potentially go Jordan Love. And then I think we're still going to get JSN on the way back around, assuming that
I think so.
The person watching the hopefully this guy's not in this live stream. We'll see. We'll see. Ethan tells Zaming I said hi, Flock. I will tell Zaming. Yeah, shout out Zaming if you don't know.
He's awesome.
If you didn't see the video today on the channel, Zaming has freaking crushed it. We've recorded so many videos here for y'all.
I don't know what we'd do without him, honestly.
Yeah, but this should be coming out very soon. But Kyler off the board at pick 72. Here's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to... the guy at 1 was listening to Jason. I'm sorry. We should have just gone with them. Right. That's on me. That's on me.
There's another guy I like. I'm not going to say who it is, though, until he gets learn from our mistakes.
Keon?
Yeah, I like Brian Thomas, honestly.
Okay, let's go with it. And also, it sets us up with Lawrence, too.
Yeah, that's what I think.
But I freaking... Honestly, the live chat will confirm this. 90% of the time, whatever team I draft is pretty bad. But this one looks good.
I like this team. Again, you've got your Travis Kelce, you've got your tight end, you've got a running back up top, but still, you feel like you can get running back later. And then now we've got 5 receivers and a couple safe guys and a couple guys that are pretty high upside. Christian Watson, Mike Evans with the touchdowns as well, and then Brian Thomas, who's a rookie, but a rookie that could be the one there. So I like this team.
And if you think about we don't have a quarterback yet, which typically I do want to try to get an elite level quarterback where we can.
There, though.
Exactly. We can go Dak with Lamb. We can go Baker with Evans. We can go Watson with Amari. We can go Love with Watson. We can go with Trevor Lawrence for Brian Thomas. So literally every single one of our options outside of Kelce, we still have the potential stack later.
Yep.
But real quick, John says, thoughts on the team, had pick 12-team league, full PPR, double flex. We have Wilson, Harrison, Gibbs, Achane. So we go, how did you get Gibbs, Achane, and Harrison all in the same team?
Where do you guys find these leagues?
Wilson, Harrison, Gibbs, Achane. In a 12-team four. This had to be a keeper league, right? Kyler, Rome, Kittle, Reed, Charbonnet, Corum, Jaleel, Jalen Wright, Curtis Samuel, Dotson. A great team. I think that I like the players we're rostering on the bottom, such as Jahan Dotson. If Dotson doesn't have a role you like week 1, easy cut. So I think you're going to get that clarity at the beginning of the year to make those waiver wire moves. So
yeah, that's a great team. My gosh.
Yeah, I really like it. We'll make this a little smaller for everybody. Okay.
Less of our face is probably better.
Yeah. Sir Yeti says, I got Mason's thoughts, but Avery I have not. Ben Sinnott next Trey McBride this year sleeper pick. What do you think?
We really like Ben Sinnott, and honestly, before the whole training camp thing, he's being listed right now, I think, as the tight end 3 on the depth chart. I'm not super worried about that. I think, you don't really spend that draft capital on a tight end without giving him, a shot to start really quickly in the NFL. And so Ben Sinnott is a guy we've been screaming from the rooftops, not only in Dynasty, but even late in redraft leagues to take. It's a little bit more dicey in redraft leagues now because, again, he is listed down the depth chart. I think at some point he does start this year.
What I would say is in best ball, I'm fine taking him. The issue is in redraft, he's in my mind so clearly a waiver wire player that when he flashes, then you pick him up.
Absolutely. You are not drafting him in your regular redraft.
I think you just go ahead, throw him on a watch list, and as soon as you see anything, then you can go ahead and grab him.
Yeah, I like him in underdog drafts more than I like him in regular redraft. But I won't draft him now in redraft leagues just for that reason.
But Paul says another top 50 PPR. Debo still high, Ayuk stays. I will get you another rankings list, my guy. Don't you worry about that. And I agree that if Ayuk does look like he's staying, Debo should probably start falling down these boards just a bit. But Jordan Love goes off the board here at 87. So we were kind of in a tougher spot than we thought previously at quarterback. I know. We still have Dak, right?
I was going to say, you've got Dak coming up there. And, honestly, you could just wait and go Trevor Lawrence. So.
I'm interested to see how far Curtis Samuel's going to start falling with the turf hit. I wasn't drafting Curtis Samuel at all to begin with.
I definitely see somebody I like on that list. I think you probably like this person too, based on what I've heard.
Yeah. There are a couple guys that I'm good with.
8-10. My gosh.
Zamir goes, I actually maybe would have made an argument for Zamir with only having Kyron.
Yeah, I understand. I don't think his price is that bad, actually, in this range.
Yeah. Earlier in the offseason it was, but he's definitely come down.
Yeah, I like Addison here.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue against it.
Yeah.
Addison picked 94. Yes, every week we get worse news with the Minnesota Vikings and Jordan Addison in particular, but I'm going to continue to act like nothing's happened, and I'm going to continue to draft him for no reason.
I'm with you on that. So.
And then I think that if he makes it to us, which he should, Dak Prescott's the clear pick.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you will. All those guys have quarterbacks. Nobody's taking their second quarterback right now.
Well,
unless they are
and nobody,
bananas.
and this isn't the Ferguson range here either.
No. Nope.
But Travis says 12-team PPR, Stroud, Rodgers, Kyron, Bijan, Connor, Warren, Brooks, Ridley, Chase, AJ, Palmer, Laporta. Do we trade Stroud and Ridley for Tyreek Lawrence in a future first?
Dynasty.
Yeah. So let's break it down this way. Would you rather have Stroud or Lawrence in a future first?
I would probably still rather have Stroud for market value. However, I love the down tier because I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be, from a production standpoint, very comparable. And actually, last year, the difference between those two wasn't super great. I honestly am taking the package there with Tyreek and Lawrence, especially if you're a win now team. Like, I like Trevor Lawrence's value going into next year. I think he's going to increase in value. And then you've got Tyreek. Tyreek's a league winner. You insulate it with a 25 first. I like that deal.
We're going to take Dak here, really easy. We have Lamb. We need a quarterback. And yeah, we still have potential other quarterbacks that we can be looking at later on. Now at receiver, we have Lamb, Evans, Amari, Watson, Brian Thomas, Addison. Running back, we have Kyron. Tight end, we have Kelsey. Quarterback, we have Dak stacked with Lamb. Yeah. But Travis, real quick, to answer your question, I'm sorry, I don't know. If Avery has a strong answer, I'd honestly listen.
Yeah, I think the package is fine. You've got the contending side, you've got the value insulation. I like the down tiers. So
okay, Bubba Zeet says 10-team 3-receiver single flex PPR. We have Allen, Pacheco, Kyron, Lamb, Cup, Tank, Pickens, Schultz, and then on the bench, Kirk. If that's Kirk Cousins, I would drop Kirk. If it's a 10-team league and we already have Josh Allen, Spears, Benson, Curtis, Rome, Moss. How can we upgrade? I mean, if we're sitting, I think you're in a really nice spot to just hopefully see like a pop in value from either Moss or Spears, dependent on their week one workload, or a pop in value from Rome, depending on what we see at the beginning part of the year. If you have the ability to package together someone like Trey Benson and Dalton Schultz right now to go get an improvement at tight end, if somehow you can swing a move to go get Kincaid, it's a no-brainer, but probably not likely. Bishop says, Yo, Mason, I'm in a predicament in my family league. Don't know who to take at the 2-3 turn. Full PPR, would you rather have Kamara, James Cook, Rashad White? Scared of running backs going early in ESPN. If you're this scared of running backs going early in ESPN, I would say not to go with an RB there at the 2-3 turn. Just take a running back in round one. Do you think so?
Yeah, I agree. And again, I wouldn't stress like reaching because you're scared of how the draft is going to go. I think it's smart to know, what your league mates are going to do. With that being said, don't get desperate. There's going to be value at other positions if you've got everybody going running back.
Yeah, go running back round one. Don't reach on any of these guys at the 2-3 turn. Yeah. Fantasy Lance, as Miley says she loves her. Just tell that girl I said hi. Happy to see you in a bit, my guy. The Pound. Yes, we got some. Honestly, I freaking love this team. I was expecting the way set up, a lot going on. We were going to draft a garbage team.
Yeah,
it's working out.
I mean, we're out here and it's 92 degrees, and we hear the crickets, and we're drafting a killer underdog team. So
I'm trying to be quiet so the neighbors don't get mad. Spencer says sleeper redraft, 14-team PPR, 1 receiver, 2 running backs, 2 flex. Interesting that you only start 1 receiver rather than 1 running back. I pick 13. Any pointers who to take in the first 2 rounds? Tight end, QB at the 3-4 turn. In a 14-team league, you really have to fill out your draft in particular. I would say that I'm probably going to be devaluing wide receiver here and trying to go a little bit running back heavy, especially with the supply and demand ratio of 14-team league.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at the guys in that range too. Like you've got guys that are comfortable values there. I'd be looking at running back there for sure.
John says he bought his ticket. Let's see this. Let's see this. Okay, I don't see anything on Venmo. Let's see. Let's check my email.
I feel like John might be trolling us.
John is a massive troll. I'm just letting you know right now. Okay, John is in.
Oh, we got it. I take it back, John. You're not trolling us.
John will be at the meetup, okay? So I know I've been advertising that I'll be at the meetup, Avery will be at the meetup, a bunch of people. Now the real star of the show will be there. If you've been holding out, coming to the meetup this Thursday.
You need to put that on your graphic that John's going to be there.
Yeah, I do. John, send me a high-quality image of yourself. Let's move this over. Okay, I think running back's the play here no matter what. If Moss and Singletary make it to us, who are we taking?
I like Moss, better offense. So, and I'm still confident that Zach Moss is probably the RB1 there. There was a minute I wavered and I was like, it might be Chase Brown, but does it really matter? I mean, it's a good enough offense where I think they both could be productive. So
yeah, I mean, Moss goes. What's funny is if you look at like ESPN and Yahoo leagues, which obviously that ADP is just not nearly as sharp as Underdog. Like I think Underdog positionally has the sharpest ADP.
Correct.
I think you can't look at the overall for your regular redraft league just because the wide receiver value is going to be skewed. But positionally, Underdog ADP is by far and away the sharpest. But if you look at like Yahoo, Chase Brown goes like 5 rounds after Zach Moss.
Yeah, it's wild. And, in most formats with like you said, sharper ADP, you see them going pretty much back to back. I mean, people don't really know who to take there, but I like Moss in this range. Singletary is a fine consolation there. So
Teresa, I wish you could make it. If you don't, Teresa has been a member of the flock for literally ever and is out here every single night. Teresa, shoot me a message. I have a bunch of merch to send you. We have merch getting dropped off. Hopefully,
when they
tomorrow.
decide they want to.
Yeah, it was supposed to be yesterday. Then it was supposed to be today. Now it's supposed to be tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But okay, so Gus Edwards off the board. So looking at this, I don't think Goff is in play because we have no Lions and the stacks later on don't really make much sense. No. Lockett, Myers, we can go with the double stack with Brandon Cooks. We can go with Nick Chubb if we're hunting late season upside. What do you think about A.D. Mitchell? I know you're the guy. Hey, if y'all don't know, Avery's the guy who wrote the "This is our Colts, this is our team."
Yeah,
he didn't sing it. That was his friend, but he wrote it.
No, I that was my thing, and honestly, because of that song, go ahead and take A.D. Mitchell here. I mean, I don't mind all these guys in this range. I like Jacoby Myers honestly here, but I think Brandon Cooks has some upside this year. Tyler Lockett, I'm obviously projecting him to be a little bit lower than last year, but I mean, this is our Colts, this is our team.
Okay, literally, every part of my body wants me to take Tyler Lockett here.
I know, I actually don't like that pick that much, but it's more of a gut thing.
I'm going to take A.D. Mitchell, and if A.D. Mitchell is not a top 36 wide receiver this year, you will owe me on the live stream "This is our Colts, this is our team" song.
I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Snicker says, "Hey, y'all, would you treat a 10-team league different than a 12-team? Don't know what draft spot I'm in till the day of. It's a single flex. Yes, I'm taking tight end especially earlier and trying to get an elite level quarterback because running back, wide receiver will be easier to find."
Yeah, absolutely.
John says, 12-team standard redraft league PPR. We have Kyler, Lamar, Bijan, Connor, Chubb, Brooks, London, Puka, Flowers, Reed, Goddard, Frymuth. 2 things. 1, I don't like having Chubb and Brooks on the same team because both of these guys are players with long-term upside, but they're not going to give you much at the beginning of the season. Second thing is having both Lamar and Kyler is kind of pointless. I would look to go and trade one. So what I would like to do if possible is trying to package together maybe like Nick Chubb and Kyler Murray to go get an improvement at running back that isn't going to be in the same boat as Jonathan Brooks where you're just chasing late season upside. Yeah. Not all versus 12 team, 3 receiver double flex. Here, heavily incentivized to go after wide receiver. Chase Waddle, Debo, Walker, Mostert, likely at tight end, flex Amari Reed, benches Javonte, Chase Brown, Dowdle, Wicks, Palmer, Chubb. Here with this team, if likely is your tight end, my guy, you got to roster 2 tight ends, but outside of that, thing looks good.
I was going to say, that's a good roster.
Do you have anything?
No, I like it. I like the guys on your bench too.
Noah says 8-team league, double quarterback, double flex, full PPR. Wondering how you'd be valuing positions going into redraft this year. Keep up the great work, man. Really appreciate you. I think if you're looking at an 8-team 2-quarterback format, you have to understand that it's not like a regular 12-team superflex league. Where a 12-team superflex league, everybody's going to have 2 to 3 starting quarterbacks just with the way the math works out. In a 8-team league, everybody's going to have 4 starting quarterbacks. Just with, I mean, obviously some teams will have 5, some teams will have 3, but it's super easy to get them. Obviously, the guys at the top still get a massive premium, but the depth doesn't matter.
Yeah, upside's everything.
John, no, Avery has not been in the mothership. I was trying to take everyone to the mothership today. I went to buy tickets to the show tomorrow night, and it sold out literally right then.
That's a shame. I wanted to go. I was really excited for it.
Sherney says, should I grab Thielen off waivers for Charbonnet? No, I definitely prefer Charbonnet. Matt says, SOS, pick forward in a 12-team PPR redraft on Sleeper. Tyreek or Brees at 1. Should we take Laporta or Josh Allen or wait for McBride, Kyler? I would go Tyreek, and I would take Laporta, Allen if it was a 2 wide receiver single flex league. Yeah. Okay, perfect. We're all caught up. Now, and also, if y'all want another stream, of course, make sure you go down there, hit that like button. If we hit 300 likes on the stream, we'll fire up another draft after this.
Hey, there are also some very entertaining people that could come on here tonight.
Yeah,
so
we'll expose.
You want to do it.
We'll expose a bunch of people in this. Yeah. We're done drafting wide receiver in this draft.
Absolutely.
By the way, so we are just quarterback, running back, tight ends through the rest. Looking at quarterbacks coming up soon. We could go, Stafford, Kyron Williams. Maybe Kyron has some receiving upside. I don't really care. No. I think, honestly, maybe Deshaun's more in play because we have Amari.
I would agree. I would totally agree with that, actually.
What do you think about Cleveland? Do you think Deshaun has any chance at a bounce back?
You know, you're asking me about, like, the one team and the one quarterback that, like, I will go on a channel and say I have literally zero idea about. Like, because with Deshaun, like, do I think he can get back to what he was, like, pre-suspension? I would think that you don't just fall off the face of the earth like that. However, there were times last year he looked atrocious. I still have hope for Deshaun. Cleveland is obviously a very well-rounded and well-coached team. So I think, from an NFL standpoint, they'll be pretty successful.
Ian says we hit 300 likes.
Boom.
And Avery said if we hit 301 likes,
I did not.
before we get off the stream, he will sing the Colt song for everyone.
That's like the 10th attempt that you've had to try to get me to sing that song this week.
I'm sorry, I can't give you the option here. We have to go Charbonnet.
Do it.
Unless Charbonnet is good. I was gonna say unless something happened today that I didn't see.
Don't take Dobbins because if Corey comes on, you're gonna have to take Dobbins with him. So
yeah. What do you think about Dobbins at this price?
I mean, with Dobbins, the dude is hurt literally every year he plays. I mean, we have not seen it from Dobbins since his rookie year.
And even his rookie year wasn't fantasy relevant.
Exactly. So, I just feel like when you know what a player is, why go and take them hoping that they're going to be something? Don't tell Corey I said that, though.
This is funny. Ketchup and mustard shirts right now. Next peep's going to be mayo and relish. 100%, my guy. Okay, so Rodgers goes, here I'm kind of fine going Deshaun, pairing him up with Amari and getting our second QB.
Yeah, that's definitely my choice.
It would be different if, are you in love with any of the other running backs or tight ends here?
And that's what I was going to say. I feel like you're going to get a running back of similar caliber, even coming back. So I think taking a quarterback here to stack with Amari Cooper is really nice.
Perfect. Let's take it, swing this around. So, yeah, now at running back, we have Kyron holding down the fort. For the love of God, stay healthy. Devin Singletary, Zach Charbonnet, and we're just crushing at wide receiver. We have Dak stacked with Lamb, and we have Watson stacked with Amari.
I love it.
But not Oliver. He's got month pending on waivers. Taysom stolen last minute. Should we trade Lamar for a quarterback and a tight end? Would love to come to the meetup, but sadly, I'm in Wisconsin. All good, my guy. I mean, their planes do exist, but not going to fault you too much. Now, honestly, I would... If you have, is this the Lamar and Kyler team? I know this is the team that had Likely, right?
I'm pretty sure it was.
As their tight end.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's. No, it's just Lamar. Honestly, no. If it's a 3 wide receiver, 2 flex league, I think you definitely just look to go ahead and hold on to the elite quarterback and stream tight ends off waivers. At least that's what I personally would do.
Yeah, I think I agree. I'm not a guy to worry about tight end, honestly. I do not panic about tight end. I'm kind of the same with quarterback, especially in your standard redraft leagues. So I tend to agree with you.
Trevor says, best ball team thoughts, 12-team first year playing. Taylor, Debo, Kelsey, Mahomes, Keenan, Reed, Stevenson, Hollywood, Moss, Singletary, Judy, Davis. Thank you. That's going to win all the money. My guy, much love. I think Taylor, Debo is a unique start. Kelsey, Mahomes for the stack. Keenan, Reed catching up at receiver. Stevenson, Hollywood taking the ADP value. Yeah, as long as we went through, and it's interesting there if you draft 3 tight ends or 3 quarterbacks, but it seems like a very solid start out the gate. Mustafa says, 10-team happy be our first overall. Do you prefer CMC, Nico, and Devontae Adams, or Lamb, Achane, and Allen or Laporta? So CMC versus Lamb, tomato. Nico versus Achane, probably give me Achane. Adams versus, I don't know. What do you prefer? I think it's honestly
I prefer the CD start there. I can obviously tell your draft. You are the situations at the 2-3 turn this year are atrocious in my opinion. I hate drafting there, but with CMC, stacking with Achane, I just don't feel like neither Nico nor Devontae Adams give you any safety at wide receiver there. So I definitely don't mind going a safer wide receiver in the first round, getting Devontae Achane on the way back, and then getting an elite tight end and a quarterback in the 3rd round. So that's my preferred start.
Yeah, I wouldn't, in a 10-team league, if you only start 2 wide receivers and 1 flex, I'll literally just go CMC, Achane.
That's honestly what I would do. You could go double hero and call it.
Yeah, and you could literally wait till rounds 4 and 5 to get your first receiver. And a 10 unless you start 3 receivers and 2 flex, then of course, very different. So I have noticed Dobbins falling a ton. Is this because Vidal looked decent in the preseason and people think Vidal's back?
I don't know. I mean, again, maybe people are just realizing that J.K. Dobbins is most likely going to get hurt when he steps on the field this year, and that's kind of me just being a hater, but it's also me being realistic. I mean, I was somebody who, in Dynasty, even after his first injury, I was ranking him top 10 Dynasty running back.
Well, what are you thinking between Lloyd, Conklin, Gibson?
That's tough. I think Gibson here, I would have said Lloyd probably even 3 weeks ago. I don't feel like, the news out of the Packers camp has been super positive, so I like Gibby. I think Gibby's looked decent in the preseason games. So, I mean, you know what he is. He's a receiving back. He's going to be in there on 3rd down. I mean, Ramondre kind of has that same skill set, so I kind of worried that Ramondre's going to take the valuable touches in offense, but I still do like Antonio Gibson. I think it was a good pickup for the Patriots, honestly.
Sinclair says 12-team PPR have Amon-Ra, Marvin, Nico, Andrews, Kirk, Mixon, Caleb, Singletary. If this is a league where you can only get, it looks like, 3 receivers in your lineup, I would love to go ahead and see if we can package together like Kirk and Singletary to get an upgrade at running back.
Yep.
Now, Jonathan says 10-team full PPR, Mahomes, Gibbs, Connor, Puka, Evans, Kelsey, Debo, Terry, Sutton, Worthy, Brian Robinson. Much love, my guy. Thank you. We have the elite quarterback, elite tight end stacked up. Plenty of depth. I mean, if we could, here's what I probably want to do this now, but if you could sell high on Connor before Benson does much.
You think Benson's the star there by the end of the year?
I think it's a possibility, to be honest.
I think it is too. I mean, with Connor like rarely plays a full season too, so you have that.
Can we go Bucky Irving or Kate Otten here, or Likely or Sanat?
I would prefer of those guys, Kate Otten or Isaiah Likely. I'm not a huge Bucky Irving guy, honestly.
Okay, we'll go Kate Otten. Otten's been so bad, but like the least efficient tight end in the NFL, but he's very young and like it looks like his job's safe.
I mean, they got a new offensive system there. Maybe that helps things out, but
yeah.
I mean, we'll see.
Okay, let's move this down. And yeah, so I mean, if you could package together like Terry and Connor, if Connor starts hot, I would. But Finn says 2 goats in the same room. Let's freaking go. All aboard the Brian Thomas train. Hell yes, my guy.
Yeah, let's go.
Much love.
I've been pushing Nathan in that direction too. I'm working on it.
Here, real quick, let me Control F this. Every once in a while, I miss one of these things. Okay. 12-team PBR double flex, 18 playoff. If 8 teams make it to the playoffs, that means no teams are getting a bye and only 4 teams get bounced. So really the only thing that we care about is weeks 15, 16, 17 upside. So I like loading up on rookies. Specifically in this format, it does seem like we're going a little bit overboard with Neighbors, Coleman, Ladd, Brian Thomas Jr., and Jalen Polk, and Jaden Daniels. So we have 6 rookies.
Again, what do we talk about on the video today?
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, so I think if you wanted to potentially package together like Neighbors and someone else to go get an upgrade, 100% can.
Yeah. Reduce your risk on that team.
Okay. So Gino goes 172, Nick's off the board 178. I think personally, this is maybe me being a little too risk adverse, but for sure I think I want to go 3 quarterbacks here, waiting to take our first QB in the 9th, second quarterback at 13, 14 turn.
Yeah.
Just taking it at the beginning of the 13th.
I'm honestly totally fine with that. And I mean, honestly, the data supports, taking 2 quarterbacks and taking 3 quarterbacks, giving yourself just as good an advantage. So why not take 3 if you're going to go, a little bit later quarterback?
Science says, are y'all in a slanted house or something? What's up with the camera? Good question, because in real life, I'm about 3 inches taller than Avery. Y'all see that at the meetup?
So you're what, 6'5", 6'6"?
This guy's literally 5'9". What I'm
Right.
6
They
foot,
can
my
see.
guy.
They can see our legs in the videos, right? Now, people are surprised you even have a body. So what happens when you just put your head on camera?
And they're surprised how good that body looks.
People can at least see my torso. That's true. People definitely don't want to see anything on my body. So that's.
Zach says, thoughts on allowing keepers to be traded before the draft? 100%. I think you should. Gibbs, Pittman, Rice was traded for Achane. Gibbs and Pittman weren't being kept anyway. Whenever I played in keeper leagues, that's how we did it.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a win-win for both parties, go for it. Okay. Teresa says, we always swear he's sitting there with no pants.
I would not be sitting this close to him if he did not have pants on. I will say that.
Literally the only reason I do, like, this is the most dressed up I've been from the waist down for one of these streams in a long time, and the least dressed up I've been from the waist up.
That's not reassuring at all. Oh my gosh.
So let's smooth this over. If John says stand up, Mason, my guy, if we hit 500 likes before we end this draft, I will flex the calves for y'all. I'll show you the chicken legs if you want them. Okay, let's move this over. I was really hoping to get Sam Darnold on the way back around to pair with Addison, because Darnold hasn't been taken in a lot of these drafts. So from like a tournament perspective, he's going to be at lower ownership.
Yeah, where did he
than
end
a
up
lot of
going?
these guys.
Early 16?
Yeah, he goes there at 182, and he's just such a good pick now because he wasn't drafted in too many drafts at all.
No, I mean, I think most people assumed that McCarthy would be the guy by the end of the year.
Are we allowed to take Dameon Pierce here?
Yeah, I'm good with that, honestly.
Okay, good. We have around 17 and around 18.
We got, what, 5 running backs? We have 7 wide receivers.
Dear God, I don't know if I want to take a 6 running back too. I don't know if.
Well, do 6 running backs and 3 quarterbacks.
Do you think we could be good with just Kelsey and Otten?
Let me see, who else is on the board? It kind of depends on who's left. Juwan Johnson. Honestly, I don't think you're going to do much by adding one of the guys on the board.
Yeah.
So I think you just roll with the
So we'll
running
get
back
rid of
order.
tight ends.
Yeah.
In terms of quarterbacks, Young doesn't stack with anybody. Daniel Jones doesn't. None of these guys do. So when none of the quarterback options would stack, I am just chasing the rushing upside. So maybe we go Jones and make an argument. Oh, you have Singletary. What if the offense is better than people expect?
Yeah. I mean, I do not like what I've seen from Daniel Jones out of training camp so far, but
Okay,
he
well,
goes anyways, so it doesn't matter.
yeah, we probably should not have said that before he was. Do we just take Bryce Young and hopefully he helps us advance, and then we get the Dak Watson stats?
I think I would just take Young here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take Bryce Young, and then because at running back, a lot of these guys are going to be very, very similar. Classy says 500 likes for This Is Our Colts song confirmed.
I'll do it at 500 likes.
My God, we're going to hit 500 likes. Do not sign up for that.
Never mind. I'll do it at 1,000.
Do not sign up for that. If you're
I'm glad you're looking out for once. That's nice.
If we are, how hard? I mean, what would we have to do to convince you to do it at the meetup? Well, we're gonna have a PA system.
I don't know. Like what? I don't know what to leverage for that.
We'll all sing it with you. I'll sing it with you.
I don't know why. Why do I have to be the one that leads it? Like,
Because you're the Colts fan.
So
you're
is
from
Nathan.
Indy.
whatever.
I know, but still,
I honestly don't care that much.
it's funnier imagining you do it. I don't know if it's because you're a tall guy doing it. Like, it's like a goofier thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, I honestly wouldn't even care. I'm a musician. I'm not uncomfortable singing in front of people. Honestly, I don't like to do it. But that song is legit the cringiest thing I think I've ever seen in my life. Not to mention, again, like people are just labeling Colts fan. Like this is what every Colts fan is. It's just not true.
Honestly, after that song, whenever I imagine Colts fans,
I
that's how I'm imagining them.
I know.
now.
Again, it's terrible for our image, but oh well. I mean, it's that or Jim Irsay. So
Brody says 2 quarterbacks, double flex. Team ended up looking like Hurts, Dak. Okay, phenomenal. Bijan, JT, Harrison, London, McBride, Diggs.
what? Did you draft with yourself?
This has to be an 8. This isn't either an 8-team league or this isn't like a 6 or an 8-team league. As Hurts, top 2 quarterback, Dak, arguably top 12 QB, Bijan, top 2 running back, JT, borderline top 5 running back, Harrison's being drafted as a top 12 receiver, London's being drafted right there, an elite tight end with McBride, ton of depth. Nuts team. Sir Yeti says Sanat is on the rise.
Yeah.
It looks like Nathan is in the chat
This is not me.
asking
You know it's not
Avery
me.
to sing the song.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing it. It's all right. Maybe at the meetup. I encourage people to come to the meetup, right? I mean,
Yeah.
get to This Is Our Colts song.
Okay. So after this, where did Sanat go in this draft after we took Kate Otten? He goes at 181. Let me know in the chat. Would you rather have Kate Otten or Ben Sanat at this point, specifically in the underdog drafts? And we are going to get another draft going after this. By the way, and we'll have a new expert to expose. Not going to lie, I think you held up pretty well in this.
I'm glad you think that. I mean, I was more worried about the heat than anything. Like I said, it is not. It's like 70s in Indiana right now. I don't often miss Indiana, but I will say every time I've stepped outside this week, I thought I was literally going to melt. So
Yeah. Well,
a lot of fun.
Sanat.
they're getting mad at you because you're not saying it Senate.
Cade.
So
Senate?
I'm just letting you know it's
Okay.
Senate.
Cade. Am I pronouncing Cade correctly?
Shut up. Again, I was reading the comments here, right?
Senate. Cody. Odin.
You sound like Corn Danny.
Okay, so Michael Penix, Jameis Winston off the board. Some people are getting in their unique picks here.
I'm glad we took Young when we did.
So we're gonna swing this back. And what are we doing? Running back?
Honestly, yeah. And of these running backs, honestly, I like Kamani Vidal. I mean, in the 18th round, don't think that's a bad name. We have what Kyron did. There.
Yeah, let's go with it.
I like Kamani Vidal here. I think.
I mean, he went from being someone that nobody thought was gonna make the team to looking okay in the preseason. Now we're back in.
Yeah.
Now we back in. So we'll go Vidal. Pretty good team. I think everybody's seen it. So let's go ahead. Let's hop into another one real quick. I only have 15 Best Ball Mania teams I'm able to do. A moth. Oh, my God. Oh, dear God. I almost died, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting attacked by moths out here. Oh, dear God.
I like that it chose you over me, too. It didn't even look at me.
I know. Okay. We're hopping in a new draft. Thank you, my guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Y'all are going to catch a lot more of Avery from Domain Fantasy Football on the channel. Bunch of videos coming very soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be at the meetup with us. And code domain on flockfantasy.com
Hey, there you
if
go.
you want a blueprint.
You said and then you said domain.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Code.
It's muscle memory, right?
Yeah,
I
code
get it. I
is
literally do
muscle
the ad
memory.
reads with muscle memory, so I'm sure you
Yeah.
do the same thing. But no, I appreciate you having me on.
Awesome.
Guys, it's been awesome. So peace out. We'll see you later.
Perfect. And do you mind grabbing someone new for us? And also, my guy, do you mind sending them with a new cup of water for me?
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right, now it's time to get personal. All right, just you and me here. Just you and me, and between us, we should have gone Tyler Lockett over A.D. Mitchell, but you got to give the Colt fan the Colt. You got to do what you got to do. Pick 5. We should hopefully be able to get another strong team. Pick 5. I'm definitely going to be going wide receiver here. Unless, obviously, like CMC were to make it to us. In your regular redraft league, go Brees, go Bijan. It doesn't really matter. You can do whatever you want here. But let's move this down. Couple different things. Kevin says, which of these guys do you think is a better ADP value, Achane or Mostert? Full PPR format, Achane, non-PPR league, Mostert. Chase or Jefferson, who do you want?
In redraft this year?
No, best ball. We're in the draft right now, my guy. Chase. All right. Corey from the Fantasy Stock Exchange. Bush from the Fantasy Stock Exchange. Coming in, teaching us how to avoid running backs, teaching us how to draft wide receivers. Here's your microphone, my guy. Did you get your drive? Did it work out?
Yes. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I got my drive. I did only get 128 gig though, so I'm worried that these file sizes are going to be way bigger than I'm expecting.
You should have got the terabyte, my guy.
I should have, but they were like $200.
Oh, mine. I bought one today. It was like 80.
Yeah, they were a little bit more expensive than I was thinking.
All right, Frank says, have the 101 and the 10 team full PBR, 2 receiver, 1 flex, going CMC at 1. Suggestions for the 2-3 turn, other than going Allen Laporta. I think here, 2 wide receiver, single flex. You can honestly double tap running back if Achane makes it to him. Do you think you should go Achane?
Yeah, I mean, I have Achane, Pacheco, ETN, and Kyron all basically ranked in that area. I think Kyron typically goes a little bit before that range in home league formats. I mean, 10 team too. I'm totally cool going Achane, Pacheco there. Those guys are absolutely worth that pick for you if you're grabbing.
So we're thinking CMC followed up with maybe another running back like Achane, and then if you don't want to go with an elite quarterback or a tight end, then pivot over to another receiver.
Yeah, I'd be grabbing a receiver. I actually forgot he said CMC first, so I would say probably just I'd go CMC, Achane, and then best available receiver. You're talking pick 20 there. I'd be cool grabbing Collins, Ayuk, any one of those guys is where I got.
Okay, so looking at this draft board, really standard draft so far. On Underdog, we mentioned this in the last draft, but it does seem like running backs are creeping up just slightly, specifically Brees and Bijan.
Yeah.
But ultimately, A.J. Brown, all these picks seem in line with ADP. Debo goes there at 12 for the Lions-Niners Week 17.
Yeah.
But if Ayuk is staying in San Francisco, Debo probably should fall back to being a late second-round pick where he was before, right?
Yeah, I mean, I still even have a hard time with him in the mid-second round where he was going before all this confusion kind of started. With Debo, he's a spike week king, right? Like, he's the type of guy that gives you those week winning performances. So yeah, I would say he's got to go back to the mid to late second as long as Ayuk is back with the 49ers. The second that contract gets signed, I think their ADPs probably flip-flop like they were for the longest time in the offseason.
Okay. Ansel says, 12-team at PBR Keeper League. I keep Brees in the third. Would you go Bijan, Chase, Jefferson with the second overall pick? Love the show. Much love, my friend. 2 wide receiver, single flex. I'm going to go Bijan. If you can start up to 4 or more receivers, there I go Chase. You do anything different?
Yeah, I mean, half PPR, I would assume it's probably one of those leagues where it's like a, 3 wide receiver max starts. I'd probably go in Bijan as well.
Okay, I'll swing this around. So we go Chase round 1. What are you thinking here at pick 20?
My vote would be for either of the 2 Dolphins, either Waddle or Achane. If you want to,
whoever falls.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing too is like if both of them are there, I don't mind grabbing Waddle to stay on track a little bit at wide receiver. I feel like we might have. I've been meaning to test out my, double dead zone strategy on Underdog specifically. The reason I say it on Underdog is because, Waddle goes. I'd be cool going Achane.
Okay, let's do it.
There. I wanted to test out a strategy where I stack up more Pacheco ETN because I loved getting those guys earlier on in the offseason when you could get them like super late. But just because they're more expensive now doesn't mean I don't want to still get them. So I still want to build around some more teams with the ADP landscape the way it is now around Pacheco ETN because I just think they're undervalued across the board. Like
whenever we made that video for flockfantasy.com, you literally were just making the pitch for ETN and Pacheco at the 4 or 5 turn. And I agreed. I was like, yeah, I like them there too. But I like a lot of other guys there as well. And now you can no longer get them there.
I have them 20% rostered. Both
Yeah,
of them for me.
I wish I had more of them. But Anthony says 12-team double flex. Love Gibbs, Gus, Harrison, Diggs, Neighbors, Rice, Kincaid, Spears, Brooks, Dowdle, Jaleel, Wicks, and Polk. So looking at the team real quick, who are we wanting here? I'm assuming we have to go receiver, right?
Yeah, we do. I would be going Metcalf of this group here.
You go Metcalf over Evans?
Yeah, I do go Metcalf.
Okay.
It pains me to say he's literally my favorite player in NFL history as a Buccaneers fan, but
Yeah.
I can't. I'm having a little bit of a hard time pulling the trigger on Evans in the mid third right now. I think he should be more of the 3-4 range because he's still. I mean, you have some risk that he starts to taper off a little bit talent wise. I think Baker maybe overperformed a tad bit. Even again, as a Bucs fan, I can admit that he might have a bit of a regression from last year. I don't think it's necessarily Canales related. I feel like people are like, "Oh, he loses Dave Canales." I think it's more so that he might have just overperformed relative to like his ceiling as a player. So for me with Baker, it's like, yeah, another year could do them good. They could have another great season together, but Godwin another year healthier. I think McMillan's going to make an impact on both of their target shares as well. I think it actually might become a bit more of a three-headed monster at receiver for the Bucs. As much as people maybe don't know this about McMillan yet, but I think he's going to tear it up come the regular season, man.
Real quick, you ready to witness greatness?
What's that?
We are drafting on Underdog Fantasy, just in case you don't know what we're doing. I draft here every single night on the live stream. If you want to draft with me, you can find that link in the description, comment section, live chat. Code FLOCK, hook you up with a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. My 2024 rankings, my 2024 draft guide, 2024 ADP consensus cheat sheet. Plus, you will also get a Christian McCaffrey special pick'em, more than less than half a total yard, exclusively with code FLOCK. But you do need to be in one of these states if you want to draft on Underdog. You can see the map there. How was that?
Beautiful. I love that.
God, it's so. I've been training. You know, how people go to the gym. I stand in the mirror and I say that. Sebastian says, have the 106 full PPR, Brees, Bijan, St. Brown, Chase, Jefferson. I go Brees if it's a 2 wide receiver single flex. If you can start 4 or more, I think you can go St. Brown. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, St. Brown's my highest rated receiver of that group, and Brees my highest rated running back. I think structurally, I like going Brees better in any kind of like home league format, like you said.
E-Man says, full PPR traded Richardson and Debo for Caleb, Chase, JSN. So I would maybe just rather have Chase trade. Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think I'm taking the Chase side there pretty easily.
Frank says, follow-up, thanks a lot for the advice on ESPN 2-3 turn. If I grab Achane, pick 2, wide receiver falling to me are Harrison, London, Adams. I think I have them ranked in that same way, Harrison, London, then Adams. Do you have it differently?
Harrison, London, Adams. Yeah, it's very, very vast discrepancy between the first 2 and Adams for me, too. I have Adams in like the round 3 range.
Okay, so let's move this around. So we have started this draft with Achane, Chase, Metcalf. Amari felled us in round 5. We honestly drafted a freaking sick team before you hopped on.
Yeah, you guys had a nice little squad. I mean, I'd be up for the double stack here if we want to go T.
I'm down. Higgins is my most drafted round 4 receiver.
Yeah, he's very clearly just a product of people thinking they know that he's injury prone, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's the reason he falls. It's like there's no real evidence to say that he's actually gonna get injured. It's mainly been like ticky-tack stuff, shoulder injuries, hamstring injuries, ankle injuries, stuff like that. It's not really predictive of future injury luck for T. Higgins. He's a young receiver. He's obviously highly motivated to play well this year. He's playing on the franchise tag, so I feel comfortable that, I mean, especially when you go Chase, you're already inherently making the bet that the Bengals will smash.
Yeah.
Anyway, so by going these 2 guys, I mean, we're obviously gonna prioritize Burrow. Hopefully we're able to get him at a half decent value. I don't want to have to reach on him.
Real quick, Anthony, I'm sorry I didn't say anything officially with their team. I was looking at trying to figure out a way to maneuver it. Obviously, running back 2 is a little bit weak in a full PPR format, but specifically because it's a full PPR league where we can start 4 wide receivers, I think you're kind of optimized the way that you're sitting now. But Trey, Andrews, both off. Pickens, Kincaid falling. I hate Christian Kirk in this range.
We have to. We got 2 Horns fans here. We have to take Worthy, right?
No.
Oh, I'm taking Worthy over Pickens any day of the week. And on this team, we got 3 solidified wide receivers.
But I agree, but from a tournament perspective,
yeah, I mean the value's pretty nice.
Pickens win it early round 4, like the majority of the offseason.
Yeah, the Ayuk news
and the
spooked
Ayuk
people off for sure.
Spooked him off, and now he's he's going in the middle round 5. I think honestly, just because one bad game for the Steelers in the preseason. which obviously I'm not saying the Steelers are going to be good. We've been assuming that they're going to be bad all year, but just because they look bad in the preseason, I don't want to go like, oh, we think Pickens is going to be bad. We think the Steelers are going to be bad, so let's move Pickens down rankings. And then they look bad in the preseason and go, oh, they're going to be bad. Let's move them down further.
Yeah, I mean, Pickens is a guy that I haven't been drafting a ton of. He's kind of a scary fade because I do think as a third-year receiver, he showed a lot last year, especially like spike week wise. He's just the type of guy that I don't love investing into. I think my build needs to be kind of a certain way to do it. I think this is the type of build that I like doing it in, though. Like we have a couple solidified receivers. I've been meaning to get more Worthy in my portfolio, even though I already have 18%.
Yeah, so. Worthy's my most drafted Chiefs receiver. I hit on Worthy big time. He was my most drafted guy because you used to be able to get him late round 6. Hit big on avoiding Hollywood in terms of the way that their ADPs have flipped, but I don't have nearly enough for Shee Rice, and obviously Rice has been the massive riser.
Yeah, I have a big board team that has Worthy, Brian Thomas Jr., Keon Coleman, and Ladd McConkey all outside of the top 13 rounds on it.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah. I drafted it I went to a Luke Combs concert at the beginning of April, and while I was in Buffalo waiting for the concert to start, I queued up my only big board draft, and I just got the smash of all smashes on these rookies where they landed, and I actually have Mahomes on the team, and it was before the draft, so I didn't know where Worthy was going, I didn't know where Thomas was going, and I accidentally stacked up Worthy with Mahomes and Thomas with Lawrence.
Real quick, did anything happen with Kincaid? Because Ridley goes ahead of Kincaid on the Josh Allen team.
Yeah, I don't think anything happened to Kincaid. I mean, he's got his skeptics.
Is it just like the Dawson Knox stuff coming up?
Why people would be worried about that would be a little shocking to me. I think that's Zach and Badaka coming back. It'd be a little shocking to me if people are worried about Kincaid for Dawson Knox reasons, because I actually kind of already expected him to be involved in 2 tight end sets, and maybe Kincaid wasn't the type of tight end I thought was going to have 100% route participation. I thought they would put him in on the obvious passing patterns and 75-80% route participation.
Yeah. Well, let's swing this around. I really like this team. It's very similar to the team that we drafted before.
Pitts would be beautiful Avery. Here.
Yeah, I'd be fine with Pitts or Kittle. Yeah. If they go, then I'm not taking Deontay personally.
No, I think we could probably veer towards a young receiver maybe.
Mad Max says 10-team happy BR keeper league, keeping CMC 108, Kyron in the 17th. What would your plan be going forward for the rest of the draft? Hoping Marv or London round 2, but there's a chance they both go. If so, who you're looking at? 10-team happy BR, I think you're starting off extremely strong with CMC and Kyron Williams. I think you're extremely balanced. If you want to go with an elite quarterback or an elite tight end early, I think you can because it's a 10-team half PPR format. And you don't have to panic with wide receiver. But, of course, if you have wide receivers you like making it to you, go for it.
Yeah, I feel really good about getting Marvin there with the start that you have built up there.
Okay, so Kyle Pitts, Deontay Johnson both go. This is Vinny. He drafts with us literally every single night. He's able to get in the draft. He's in every single draft every single night. And I think he maybe only drafts with us on the stream too because I swear he's done this for years. And he doesn't have a badge yet.
Sniped Kittle.
Yeah, he takes Kittle. He doesn't give us who we want.
Okay, so what do we want to do here? I actually don't mind double stacking the Seahawks also and taking Smith and Jigba here.
I'll do it. I don't like Smith, the JSN, in comparison to some of these other guys. But Avery wanted to go JSN in the 6th round last draft. And I said, let's get him in the 7th. And then he didn't make it back to us. So
yeah,
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Consolidating my bets is something that I absolutely love doing, and I think just as a micro take here, I'm pretty adamantly against Tyler Lockett this year, and I've been taking a lot of Metcalf and JSN as a result of that. I will take this opportunity. If you guys haven't checked out the Fantasy Stock Exchange, go ahead and do that. We are obviously doing a lot of content over there as well, and appreciate Mason for bringing us all together for this weekend, too. Got to shout out the host.
Of course, yes. If you hate running backs and hate olds, Corey's your guy.
Yeah, and if you want too many numbers, that was what was commented on a recent video. That's where you will find us. Too much stats, can't have that many.
Okay, so here, obviously, we have more than enough wide receiver production. I'm assuming, I know you hate Najee, so we're not going to go Najee. Hollywood goes, are you fine with Evan Ingram? Just thinking about potential quarterbacks that we can be looking at later.
I don't know if you want my honest opinion here, because to me this would be I'd grab McConkey and stop at 6 wideouts with this team.
We'll do it. I probably prefer Keon over Ladd. But with that being said, we don't have a quarterback, so we need to be setting ourselves up with potential options later if we don't get Burrow.
Yeah, Burrow and Geno ideally would be the two quarterbacks we end up with.
Aiden says PBR playoffs are weeks 14 through 17. We have Stroud, JT, Andrews with the week 14 bye. Do we trade Stroud, JT, London, Andrews for Mahomes, Bijan, Olave, Ingram? Stroud to Mahomes, upgrade. JT to Bijan, upgrade. London to Olave, slight downgrade. Andrews to Ingram. If you're avoiding the week 14 bye, I'd for sure do it. I think it's very weird if that's actually your playoff schedule. So I would probably double check that. 'Cause I don't know if you have, I don't know what, a 4-week playoff?
Yeah, 4-week playoff with 14. I mean, knowing that there's actually like a lot of buys in week 14, I would definitely talk to your commish, or if you're the commish, change that.
Yeah. Finn says Dynasty Startup, 12-team league, single super flex, 3 receivers, double flex. Richardson, Achane, Jacobs, Jefferson, Pittman, Diggs, Frymuth, Aaron Jones, Hollywood. The bench, we have Penix, Jalen McMillan, Wicks, Downs, Whittington. Shout out, Corey.
Got a shout out,
Corey.
Huge.
Shout out, Corey. Corey, do you have anything with this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this team. I think it's pretty well balanced. I like the wide receiver core, the running back core. Like a couple micro names. I'm not huge on Diggs this year, but and Aaron Jones too. But other than that, I think it was well constructed. Penix as a bench stash is a little odd to me. I don't know why we'd be stashing him when we have Richardson. I just personally wouldn't draft a second quarterback if I had Richardson. I think in most Dynasty startup. I'm literally blind. I'm literally blind.
Yeah.
Okay. Dynasty Superflex. I'm totally blind. My apologies. Yeah, I still feel good about the team regardless, though.
It's like a redraft league. Why do we have...
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have gone as heavy on the aging players in a startup. That's just my personal philosophy in Dynasty.
Yeah, I mean, if you're pushing in to win now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oris, I will get to your super chat. Don't you worry, my guy. Let me get through these so I don't lose my place. Chromatic says Allen and Daniel Jones, White, Aaron Jones, Warren, Spears, Singletary, Algier, Chase, London, DK Flowers, Coleman, Mims, Quentin Johnson, Roman Wilson, Schultz, and Musgrave. I'm assuming that's an underdog team. And if Schultz and Musgrave are my 2 tight ends, I probably want a third. If you're on underdog, Schultz and Musgrave are your 2 tight ends, are you taking a third?
Yeah, definitely taking a third there.
Okay, so we are done at wide receiver, right?
Yeah, I mean, like maybe a 17th, 18th round dart throw, but ideally we don't have to take another one. And
so here's the thing: if we want to play it safe and make sure we don't look like an idiot on the live stream,
we take Burrow.
We take Burrow.
We take Burrow here, I think.
Or we have both Chase and Higgins. Who the hell's going to take Joe Burrow from us?
We got a red badge. Red badge
else.
is the only guy without a quarterback, I think, between us, right? And I don't think he's likely to snipe Burrow.
He's not going to take Burrow. I think we take Ferguson.
Yeah, let's grab Ferguson. That's a good call.
If Ferguson was gone, like it's not worth taking another guy Bowers and risking it. But here, if we're trying to turn $25 into $1.5 million, I'm willing to roll the dice. I'm willing to risk it.
Yeah, I mean, okay, Jaden Daniels just went as his first quarterback, which
he had Terry.
Yeah, it's a red badge move right there. Yeah, I mean, hopefully these guys aren't taking backups and being like, oh my God, falling Joe Burrow.
Brandon Cola, this guy at 1. Just remember the flock, he knows what he's doing. He's not taking Burrow.
This gentleman here at the 811 is the guy that we have to worry about.
The one without the badge.
Yeah.
But Ian says 12-team app PBR, 3 receivers, single flex. Double keeper league, choose 2. Best options are Jefferson in the 1st, JT in the 3rd, McBride in the 16th, Chase Brown in the 16th. No part of me would ever keep Chase Brown here. It's either Jefferson, JT, or
Definitely,
McBride.
Easily McBride, I think, is one.
Yeah,
the
McBride's
value
one.
alone is just too good to pass up.
It's just Jefferson versus JT. The thing is, if you know where you're picking from and you think you could potentially get a Jefferson caliber player drafting him in the 1st round, you're not going to get JT in the 3rd. But if you're at the end of the 1st and it's a double player keeper league, so the end of the 1st is more so like elite 2nd, there I think you make an argument for Jefferson. Do you have a feel on that?
It's a really hard question to answer without knowing where your 1st would be and the player you're looking at, because I'm actually not the biggest person on Jefferson. We actually had a lot of discussion about it already so far. but I lean JT in the third, but I have to know kind of exactly where you'd be picking and the options you'd have available if you do go with Jefferson or if you don't go with Jefferson. So
I'm thinking we go Dak Prescott here because we have Jake Ferguson.
yeah, maybe we should. Yeah, maybe we should definitely do that. Yeah, we take Burrow, we take the ADP. You got to push the Higgins Burrow stack. I mean,
Yeah.
The Geno one worries me a little bit if we try and push that one because I feel like it's late enough in the draft that people are just going to take their second quarterback and not care if he's correlated or whatever. But having like perfect correlation Burrow and Geno would be really nice. Not going to lie.
Yeah, I honestly thought just because it was like a weird setup and like, a lot's going on here that we were going to have some garbage teams getting drafted tonight. But back-to-back drafts, I'm feeling good.
Yeah, I mean,
We have Chase, DK, Higgins, Pickens, JSN, Ladd at receiver. We have Achane at running back, Ferguson and Burrow at quarterback and tight end. Burrow double stacked.
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, this is gonna be like a 7 RB build probably, most likely, because we're pretty weak at that position. But
I think we can get away with
we
six.
can
We'll see.
we can strengthen numbers. I think we can get away with 6 wideouts though. That's why I'm saying it might be a 7 RB build.
I think we can go 3-6-6-3.
You want to go 3 quarterbacks with Geno and Burrow?
Our first QB off the board to pick 101.
I mean,
And then Geno's like 160 something.
The way that I broke down like the quarterback landscape in the like finding the next league winning quarterback video is that if I get Geno or better and I get 2 of them, I'm stopping at 2.
We'll see. We'll see.
That's the
We'll see if
way
can
I approach
convince
it.
you.
But if you want to grab, I mean, I don't know, like if we have any late round stacking options we could grab. Like, I don't know. Personally, I would stop at 2, but that would be fine. If we
Jacob
went with
says,
the third.
just got back from run. Thanks for the inspiration. Hell yes, my guy. Love to hear it. Roscoe says, 10-team keeper. Mine's Mahomes. Double flex. 7th pick. What are your thoughts on the early strategy? Should we stay balanced? Full PPR league where we can start up to 4 wide receivers. I think it's the definition of a league where you stay balanced. I think it's hard to exploit it. What do you think? Anything different?
Yeah. Sorry. Go back to the question again. I just want to just reread it.
It's just we're keeping Mahomes, pick 7. What's your strategy? And 10-team, 2 receiver, double flex.
Yeah. I mean, staying balanced is definitely your play there.
Paul says, join Underdog for the first time. How do I find your rankings and draft? So if you use code FLOCK and made at least a $10 deposit, then you're going to get an email from Underdog Fantasy initially with the rankings, the draft guide, and then every Sunday you should also get an email from mason.flockfantasy.com with the updated rankings, the updated draft guide, and the updated AP consensus cheat sheet. But Andrew says 12-team app PPR, keeper in the 5th. I have pick 1. I'm passing on CMC. Hull is gone, but everyone else is there. ESPN with friends. Who are we taking? So I have pick 1. I'm passing on CMC. Hull is gone, but everybody else is there.
I'm taking Bijan then, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking CMC, but if you really don't want CMC, you can go Bijan.
Yeah. In a half PPR, I'm probably not grabbing a receiver over Robinson.
So are they just partying inside? Is that what's going on?
I mean, a little bit. There's some rap music going down. Me and Danny were playing some pool. Definitely the 2 most cracked pool players in the house right now. So it was a nice little heavyweight showdown.
Well, I am garbage at pool. I think Spears is a no-brainer.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I was a little worried if Spears wasn't going to make it to us.
Yeah, we're going to be looking dicey. We're probably going to need a flat production bro here, or 2, like a guy that's just, we can count on some touches early on. I know it's gross, but I've been taking Zeke anytime I've needed a guy like that.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Miggy says, should we trade for JT? I have Kyron, Montgomery, Brian Robinson, Chandler Algier, St. Brown, Evans, DK Palmer, Dotson, Judy, McBride. If we were trading for JT, I think the move is to package together, if we could, like Montgomery and Evans or Montgomery and DK and go get them. And if not, I think you're looking at like packaging Kyron and Palmer, Kyron, Dotson.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're going to get that deal done. But if you can, then sure.
It's kind of a hard deal to situate with your team because I think Kyron plus a meaningful piece would be too much to give up, and then Montgomery plus a meaningful piece might not be enough if the guy's valuing JT that high.
And real quick, if we hit 600 likes on the stream, which we may have already hit this, we're a little bit behind on the chat, we will get another person out here to expose. I titled this Exposing the Experts.
We're exposing the experts.
In a draft. So we'll expose somebody else.
I don't know. If we get a perfectly executed hero RB 6 wide receiver build, double stack Burrow and Geno Smith, I don't know. I feel like I'm running roughshod right now.
Well, thank you for being the Robin to my Batman, my guy.
Yeah.
I'm carrying the weight here. This is a typical team. I draft JSN, Tajay Spears, Devon H. This is what I do every draft.
Okay, so who do we want here? Do we want to swing, or do we want to grab some touches?
I think we just go Gus Edwards. I know you're not an Edwards guy.
Oh, it wouldn't be a me team if it wasn't J.K. Dobbins on it. I would prefer Zeke.
I'll go Edwards and Dobbins and say Vidal does nothing.
Let's give you Edwards. We're not taking Dobbins if we take Edwards. I think that's a very uncorrelated bet. I think one of them's gonna hit and one of them's gonna miss. There's no way they're both good.
I've come super close to winning the big dog by taking Rojo and Fournette on the same team. I think you can take two running backs from the same backfield if you're not going like Bijan Algier. I think if you're going two guys past round 10, you can have some unique teams getting to the tournament.
I had a top 10 finish in BBM last year in the regular season with Mostert and HM.
With Mostert and HM?
Yeah.
What did that pay out?
So I had a top 10 finish, let me clarify, until the final game. And then I dropped to like 40th. So I lost all the big money at the top, but it did end up, I think it ended up covering my entries or close to it.
Okay.
Covering my max.
What would it have been if you got like 9th in total points?
I think it was like somewhere between $5 and $10 grand. I think.
Okay.
It wasn't like a ton. It
wasn't close to the million.
It was mainly top heavy on the regular season too, where it like really dropped off quickly. Like it was like if you came, I definitely like it was like 25,000 or something like that.
I like the flatter payouts so much more this year.
Yeah, which is way better.
Which is so funny because I remember like 2 years ago I was like not complaining, but I was telling my friend I was like, yeah, with the big dog, the issue is like it's so top heavy for the payouts. Like first place is like 100,000, second place like 40,000, and then I ended up winning it. So I was like, oh no, the payouts are perfect.
Cue the chat. 150,000 2 years ago. Yeah. I don't tune into a whole lot of Mason streams, but I know 150,000 2 years ago is a common meme.
Let's get it going. Our next one is Kevin says, do you think it's smart to go in a full PPR 10-team league at the 101 on Sleeper to take CMC 101, London 210, Allen 301, Kincaid 410, or should we wait on quarterback tight end? If it's a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex league, I love the start.
Yeah, especially on Sleeper, I feel really confident in the wide receiver value in round like 6 to 8. All those rookie wide receivers and those upside guys, I love. If you can get Allen at the 410, that's a hell of a start.
California, I don't think you're cooked. I think this is the team that had both Chubb and Brooks, unless I'm mistaken. But to be honest with you, my guy, it's going to be extremely hard for me to find that team again. So I'm really sorry. When we're rolling solo, I'll dive into it the best I can. Big Verg says 10-team full PPR, 3 receivers, single flex. Go running backs, early wide receiver, early hero RB strategy. Should we go elite quarterbacks, elite tight ends? Flock meetup Thursday. If you're going to be at the flock, you are going to be at flock meetup. I think you emailed me, my guy. Looking forward to it. And if it's a 10-team, 3 wide receiver, single flex, it's kind of similar to a 12-team, 2 wide receiver flex.
Oh, hero, that's a primo hero RB strategy format. Any 3 wide receiver league that's full PPR to me is very conducive to hero RB. So I think it's definitely a viable strategy, especially I think in home leagues, people don't realize that a 3 wide receiver start makes that big of a difference to like a 2 wide receiver, 2 flex or a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. So I feel like often you're not getting more than 1 good running back value in the first couple rounds anyways, which is why I think hero plays so well in those type of formats.
So we are Charbonnet goes.
Anyone else think Mason kind of looks like Gino?
Will you let me please go Herbert and Gino?
That is so overkill in my opinion. If you want to do it, you can, but we
Please
do have we have McConkey, so we got some.
Who else would we go with? Algier?
I would be going with Algier here for sure.
Okay, I'll let you go, Algier. If Herbert makes it to us in round 13 to pair up with Ladd, I'm going Herbert.
That's fine. I mean, you're already getting the.
But the thing is, so how I'm viewing this in tournaments in general, especially Best Ball Mania, where it's such a large field, I'm trying to think of unique paths to the playoff tournament with low-owned players. So if you go with like a third quarterback, which not a super high price tag, it's not like we took, say, Kyler Murray and Josh Allen, right?
Yeah.
Our first quarterbacks pick 101. So if we go with 3 quarterbacks and say we play out the instance where Herbert misses a decent chunk of the season, so anybody with the Herbert stacks, they don't really advance. And then all of a sudden you get a massive week 16 Herbert Ladd. And we didn't really need it at all during the regular season because we had Burrow and Geno carrying. That's why I'm okay mixing in the third QB strategy, because I think you can kind of sneak one of your stacks through if you get an injury during the season with a player with a typically lower advance rate. That's why I actually like going Josh Allen or Lamar or Mahomes. I like going with the elite quarterback round 4 and then going like QB in round 16, 17, because I love the idea of like Allen missing 6 weeks and then all the other teams that just drafted 2 guys not advancing, and then me sneaking an Allen team through.
I know the 3 QB strategy to me actually does play really well with the elite guys. I think when you have 4 of your first 8 picks correlated to 2 offenses, what like we did with the receivers, I think you'd have to you'd have to kill me before I didn't draft Geno Smith. Like you're already making such a concentrated bet on the Seahawks as it is.
Well, no, I was gonna ask for Geno later too. I wanted Herbert and
yeah,
Geno.
No, I know. I would just lean on it. I mean, Dobbins to me is like awesome here, but I don't want to. I don't want to take him with Gus. To be honest, I'd rather go Ray Davis. He's been making noise. Okay. Highest graded preseason running back in the NFL per PFF right now, Ray Davis.
We almost got Dobbins as well in the draft. I think it was the 14-10. We almost got him at 166 in the last draft.
Yeah.
He's been, it's so weird that he like has been a massive riser. And all of a sudden he's been falling considerably over the past few days. Which I don't know why. I don't know if it's literally Vidal just played. You know,
he's a functioning member of society at this point.
He is known in Los Angeles, but I don't know.
They have a sighting. Yeah.
Milan says, if I take Chase in a running back rounds 1 and 2, who are you taking round 3 out of London, Ayuk, Olave, Nico, Debo, Achane? I think Achane, right?
Yeah, this is very easily Achane. I like Collins quite a bit, and Ayuk, assuming he resigns, but I like Achane the most there.
Yeah, and then if you had to go with one of those receivers, if Achane didn't make it?
It would be Collins as of now. Ayuk, if he resigns, Collins as of now.
Utah Sports says, shout out Corey. Had a call with him pre-NFL draft. Got so many golden nuggets.
Hey,
hell yes.
Let's go. Yes, we do consults over on the Fantasy Stock Exchange YouTube channel from time to time.
If you sign up to flockfantasy.com and use code FSE, does that get you a consult or does that get you a team review?
Annual mother flockers, it will get you both, actually. You can choose to redeem the team review voucher. You can save that for the back pocket and use the consult first. It's up to you. We're sickos who talk fantasy football a lot, so we don't actually mind doing it.
Corey is a lot nicer than I am. I do a 10-minute podcast breakdown for members who join flockfantasy.com with code FLOCK. If you do FSE, this guy will sit down in a Zoom call with you and talk about your fantasy football team.
I mean, the reality of the situation is that I have a lot less demand for people wanting my advice to this guy, so that's partially why I'm able to offer something a little bit more personalized.
Or you're a lot nicer and
a little bit of both. I am Canadian. If you guys couldn't tell by my accent, we are Canadian. We got a couple Canadians in the house here, and I'll just do anything.
Ooh, Richie says you're my big dog and holding up the show. Let's pick. I'm in a lot of slow drafts right now, and I'm probably gonna auto some. So let me get going. Oh, I entered in a fast big dog to see if it was gonna fill. It's not gonna fill. We can try tomorrow.
Sorry, I didn't know if this is a PG-13 broadcast.
This is definitely a PG broadcast.
Okay.
We don't even get to 13 here, but it's fine. Well,
I don't want to risk losing Geno here, to be honest.
Okay, we'll just take him.
Just because we're double stacked up and this is the range. It kind of is the Wild West. I feel like you can actually count on quarterbacks to be pushed a little bit more in the early rounds than in the late rounds.
There's just in the early rounds, there's a narrower gap on where they go. In the later rounds, it's just a super wide margin. Like sometimes you'll see Geno going around 16, 17. And sometimes you'll see Geno going around 12, 13.
Yeah. And also, too, I feel like the more casual drafters like start to run out of players they know in this area of the draft. They're like, I'm just gonna take a quarterback because I know his name and I know who he is and stuff.
That's literally what I'm about to do in the slow draft right now.
Yeah. JK being a 13th round pick, I feel pretty proud of myself considering he was an 18th rounder when I drafted him like 26% of my teams.
I know, and I was not drafting him nearly that often. I was looking going, oh, he's $50,000 guaranteed. I have no idea if this guy's gonna make the team.
Yeah, to knock myself down a pedestal, though, I also have like 25% Troy Franklin, who's like not even a functioning member of the Broncos. So, but Dobbins, I was all over, and I really did think his price would rise as he proved to be healthy, and that's pretty much all that it took for his price to go up. Was he's actually like going to make the team, and he's healthy, he's not banged up right now.
Well, you know what's exciting to hear? I have a lot of Odell Beckham Jr. and DJ Chark. Sweet.
I actually, my scroll the F down pick of the year has been Malik Washington because I love the profile and I love the film. And I think OBJ's very washed. So,
well, it looks like it now. The man doesn't.
Yeah. And I think Washington getting some design touches would be nice for that team.
All right. Who are we wanting here?
We got a couple handcuffs so far. We could grab, I think we need to grab a running back here. I'd be cool with Allen, Lloyd, or Gibson. I don't really have a preference. Lloyd would probably be my biggest preference there.
Let's go Lloyd then. I mean, if you look at the vast majority of tournaments, Lloyd has been selected much higher than where he's going now.
Yeah.
So he gets...
Hamstring pull knocked him back a little bit.
Yeah. And my main concern with Lloyd, and I think it's a very valid concern, is if we were to get a Josh Jacobs injury, it looks like Marshawn Lloyd probably splits the backfield with A.J. Dillon.
Yeah, he probably does.
So he's like a handcuff that even if the starter goes down, you don't know if he's viable.
Jerome Ford handcuff.
I can pretty damn confidently say if Bijan goes down, Tyler Algier wins leagues.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
I think he's probably, if we nuked every 32 starting running backs in the league, I think Tyler Algier might be the RB1 in fantasy.
Yeah. But let's go ahead. Let's find this next one. Radiant says 12-team PPR ESPN. First pick, do we go running back, wide receiver, wide receiver? I think you can, but if you get someone like Kyron Achane making it to you there to 212, I think you can also feel free to go ahead and take them.
Yeah, pick one in ESPN full PPR is it's hard to say because like some formats it's like half PPR, start 7 kind of leagues. It's like you just take McCaffrey, but I think knowing that it is full PPR and depending on how deep the format is, you can definitely get away with going Lamb or Hill there. And I personally would take Lamb 101 over McCaffrey in any kind of PPR with 3+ wide receivers. I would, yeah. The only way I would take McCaffrey over Lamb would be half PPR format, start 7 kind of leagues where I know I can get great wide receiver value later. But in like 80% of leagues, I would say I'd be taking Lamb.
Awesome. Well, Braylon Allen makes it down here to 179. Sam Darnold is somebody that I've been taking a ton of just because he hasn't been drafted in a lot of underdog tournaments. So I've been trying to mix him in literally anytime I take a Viking.
So glad he didn't fall to us, so I could not want to take him.
Literally, if he would have made it to us at 188, I would have been making the argument to take him unstacked. And I'm not joking about that either. Press says ESPN 10T PPR with running back heavy in the past. So we target running backs early considering I can get Waddle, Flowers. Yeah, this 100% like...
Yeah, if you get Waddle in round 4, absolutely.
That's where their ADP is on like Yahoo.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a 10-team too, so it's a little bit pushed back.
For sure. I think you do it. Unless, obviously, you don't be taking Jahmyr Gibbs over Justin Jefferson. But if you can reasonably take a running back in a similar tier, let's do it.
Yeah, am I being approved by the chat? I can't actually tell if like the chat likes me or hates me.
Do you like, okay, scale 1 to 10, how good is Corey doing? Be honest.
Yeah, you can be totally honest. I'm Canadian. I'll just probably be nice to you anyways.
Yeah. All right. Good news to everybody. Girlfriend made it to New York for Happy Gilmore 2. So
that is crazy.
Don't have to worry about that.
That is a crazy name drop that you're like, yeah, my girlfriend's working on Happy Gilmore 2.
Well, this is one of the girlfriends. The chat knows I have multiple. This is why we are in a different setup, because usually my girlfriend, what she does is during these live streams, she goes to the roof and holds the antenna up so we can get a good signal for the stream, and she just stands there for a couple hours.
Yep.
Since she's gone and the substitute hasn't come in quite yet, we are having to be at a satellite location that has a little bit better service. And Danny from the Fantasy Stock Exchange is actually up there on the roof holding the antenna for us right now. All right, but let's see what we got. Okay, you got a single one from Horchado.
Let's go, Horchado. I think I know Horchado, too. I think he might be 7.2. Is that like a gymnastics score?
He cool.
Okay.
I like it.
I respect it. Seahawks fan, I wonder why he likes me, because we got three Seahawks on our team.
8,
Don't like. That's my favorite comment.
Yeah.
Don't like.
Be honest. A little weird if you ask me.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Well, if you do like me, you can check out FSE. If not, you can stick around here as per usual. So I feel like you're just like frothing at the mouth to take a third quarterback right now. Are you thinking you still want to do that? Because I will say, if we want to do it, I think Fields is the guy you do it with, because you want the spike week potential that you could advance a guy like that. But yeah. I think we don't only have one tight end.
We're gonna take 3 tight ends. Yeah. Are we good with? We can do Sanat. He's been getting some steam.
Yeah, I've been yelled at that it's Sinnott, not Sanat. So I've been yelled at multiple times, but I'm down with Sinnott.
I literally just got corrected in the live stream right before this, but I've said Sanat 1,000 times. So I'm probably going to do that literally for the rest of his career.
Cornelius.
The only way that I start pronouncing Ben Sanat's name correctly is if he has a Puka Nacua year 1 season and I have no other option but to learn his name.
Yeah.
I think that's how a lot of people, like, I know this is a completely different sport, but like Giannis Antetokounmpo, I don't think like anybody wanted to learn his name until he was like really, really good, and then you had no other option.
Yeah.
Now Reese Bass has got offered Lamb and I'm sorry, my friend, I was trying to get back to it. I'm sorry it took us so long. Got offered Lamb and Gibbs for my Bijan and Rome. I would way rather have Lamb and Gibbs. I think it's an absolute no-brainer. Lamb and
Yeah, that
Gibbs.
is a no-brainer. You're not going to find Bijan truthers like the two of us, but yeah, Gibbs and Bijan, much smaller gap than Lamb and Rome there.
Nate Tano says, hey, Mason, in a 10-team, 2-receiver, 1 flex, is hero RB the best format, or is double hero RB? I would definitely go double hero RB. If it's a 10-team league, we're going to start 2 wide receivers and 1 flex if you get the values falling to you.
Zoom call is wild.
Milan says, full PBR, 2-receiver, single flex. Do you prefer Chase Kyron or Henry Pacheco or Brees Harrison or Devonta London? So essentially, I mean, out of this group, I probably prefer Chase Kyron. Actually, no, probably Brees Harrison.
Yeah, I'm Brees Harrison all day there.
That was worded a little bit differently. Yeah, Brees Harrison's definitely the
Okay,
move.
so do we want to?
Are you going to let me get the third quarterback?
Yeah, as long
Is
as
it
it's
Fields?
Fields. As long as it's Fields, yeah.
Okay.
I think if you're going to take a third quarterback,
And
it
we have
needs-
Pickens, too.
Yeah, like
Perfect.
We do have
This is-
Pickens. You're right.
this
This
is-
is a heavily correlated team right now.
This is a freaking sick team. And then I said this in the draft before, but it is a very common thing that I would say the percentage of teams that I draft on this live stream that turn out to be good hover around 35%, probably. We have back-to-back good drafts here. The probability that that happens on a Flock Fantasy live stream, this is maybe the first time it's happened all year.
Yeah,
So
it's
maybe we need to just make Austin a permanent residence for everybody.
Yes.
And I can learn how to draft.
better get ready to learn Flock Fantasy live streams. I mean, I would take the permanent residence just via my Underdog account so that I could draft in
Yeah, so you
Ontario.
can draft.
But yes, that would be
Chromotic
we're
says, rate the wide receiver and running back depth with Allen at quarterback. Wide receiver, we have Chase, London, Metcalf, Flowers, Coleman, Mims, Quentin, Roman. Running back, we have White, Aaron Jones, Warren, Spears, Singletary, Algier. Yeah, this is a nuts team. This is what Josh Allen allows you to do, where you can roster the extra QBs and running backs.
yeah.
Do you think Roman Wilson's worth rostering?
I don't. So he said rate the depth. I don't like the depth. I like the starters.
Yeah.
I don't like the depth choices that you went with. To me, like QJ playing with the twos right now. Mims like not looking like he's going to be a full-time player. Roman Wilson. I mean, it's a bad passing offense to be a part of to begin with. And even if he's the wide receiver 2 there, like, did you want Darnell Mooney in Arthur Smith's offense last year? Who was not Darnell Mooney. Sorry, you didn't even want Drake London. Did you want anybody else
Yeah.
other than Drake London there in Arthur Smith's offense? So, I mean, for me, I look at this and I would rather have higher upside swings. To me, like Mims, Johnson, and Roman Wilson, I would rather take swings on rookies as opposed to those. Well, I guess Roman Wilson.
And I would rather just cut all 3 of those receivers and pick up running backs that maybe have a
Yeah,
role.
exactly. I think at that range it's a little bit harder.
Dylan says, what should I do if no one in my league wants Kyler, 10-team full PBR? Should I trade Allen to get a massive haul since I got him at the 3-4 turn? I mean, if you can get a massive haul for Allen, but that's the issue in like going through and like saying like, oh, the player X has fallen so much in my draft. Let me take him and then trade him immediately. It's like, oh, if someone wanted him in your league, they probably would have just drafted him.
Yeah. Do we want to scroll the F down for our final pick for a wide receiver since we haven't drafted one since like
it's
the
a tight
7th
end.
round? Or we have to? Yeah, we got to grab one more.
Yeah,
tight
we
end,
have
right?
Ferguson, Sanat. I mean, I
Yeah,
think
that's pretty dust.
in terms of tight ends,
I mean, Gesicki. We have Burrow and the Bengals stacked up.
so I used to do that. I used to be willing to go with the 4th player on a single team. But for us in week 17 to really differentiate ourselves from the rest of the people, to have 7 players across 2 teams we're probably not.
You're probably right, but if Burrow and the Bengals offense just runs hot and the Seahawks offense is the other like stack we have and they're just ping-ponging weeks, I still think we can get away with it.
Yeah, but I really I used to do it, but I don't think it's
Okay.
I don't think we should do it anymore.
So on
I think if we had-
Dulcich is the week 17 correlator to the Bengals.
if that's what you want.
So I would go. I mean, I love Kraft too. You're not going to hear me say a negative thing about Kraft.
I was just queuing up the guys that hadn't been drafted all year. Kraft hasn't been drafted really all year, and Dulcich hasn't either.
Both of them are
oh well.
drafted by me all year,
Yeah.
but not by everyone else.
We'll
apparently.
take 'em.
I think Kraft is better than Luke Musgrave. Like I thought he was better as a prospect. I think he was better as a rookie. The only thing that's been a bit of a wrench there is that Kraft was dealing with a pectoral injury, and Musgrave obviously has better reps now with the starters. But I think there's a possibility that Kraft could take over that job.
How drunk is Joe in there?
He's definitely he's sauced a little bit. He's been hitting it.
Awesome. Well, team looks great. Thank you.
This is
my
a
guy.
horse.
And of course, if y'all want to learn how to draft Corey Fantasy Stock Exchange, you're going to see him in a zillion videos coming out soon. You'll see me in videos on his channel as well. Thank you, my guy. Do you mind grabbing a land guy if they're in there and sending them out?
Yeah, I will grab Zach, hopefully, because I think he's the
Perfect.
early sleeper.
And we will fire up another draft as we get our next guest in here. And yeah, we are just going to do another Underdog best ball, of course, best ball mania draft, ladies and gentlemen. Just in case you haven't had a chance to see the structure, this is a $25 buy-in, $15 million prize pool, $1.5 million for first. Top 20 places all get 100,000. So let's go ahead. Let's fire this up. There are 11 spots open in this draft with us. Got to close the door, my guy. So there are 11 spots open in this draft with us if anybody wants to get in here. So are you coming in? Are you stopping by?
I might be stopping by.
You can come tell people what's up.
Dev team.
This is Joe, one of the developers of flockfantasy.com. If you've interacted with Joe in the Discord.
Then I'm so sorry about your unfortunate experience.
Yes.
With the Discord dev team and hashtag site issues.
If you put a side issue there, message Joe and didn't get a response for another 3 days.
Don't message Joe.
Joe's
on.
All right,
Joe,
pick one. What are we doing here?
Pick one. We're going absolutely lamb. We're not risking it. We're just going all in on production for lamb.
Joe's better than me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah.
Whatever, Joe. Sup, Joe? A-Rod, whatever you need in site issues, just let me know. You have any issues, syncing your league, anything at all, you message Joe on Discord.
And you'll get 101.
I know that.
Hey,
Community, listen here. The Sharpest Squares community rankings is right here in my heart. You guys are my people. And don't listen to this guy. This guy has no idea what he won Underdog 2 years ago. Community Leagues is going to win it. And that's it. We're going to show up Mason.
Okay, the real guest is about to show up. Do you want Lamb or CMC?
Yes.
Exactly.
Hey.
That's what the community rankings said.
Well,
The community rankings said Lamb. Don't listen to the experts. The community rankings said Lamb. That's it. We know what we're talking about. Don't listen to these guys. Follow your heart. You know what you're doing. And that's it.
I heard Mason was doing the punishment at
Oh,
the top.
Oh, God damn. All these experts. Listen. We have tomorrow night. Show up tomorrow. The dev team is versing the creators. And when we beat them in December, you guys are going to be so happy that we put these people in the dirt. The people are going to speak. And that's it. The experts are not going to know what they're talking about. The dev team's going to have to make their own channel. And that's it. And, you know, the dev team, I'll just kick out Mason, and the dev team will just rule, and that's it.
Who's paying for
Well,
this?
we make the site, we make the rankings, and that's it.
Are you putting the bill?
Well, I mean, yeah, well, Mason was, you know, he's the daddy of the team. Yeah. He's still gonna foot the bill, cause you know, but it is what it is. You know, someone's got to pay up, and the dev team's still gonna get paid, but this guy's gonna pay, and so that's it. Experts Joe, yes, A-Rod. This guy is coming in. He has the money chats. Who is he? Who's Green? What does Green mean?
Green means he's a YouTube paid member.
Oh, okay.
What's
He's
green?
no-
It's not technically under your jurisdiction. So
Not my jurisdiction. Yeah, I don't know, but green's good. Green means money. Hey, this guy's got money. Let me tell you. We might invite A-Rod. Hey, Rod, you showing up tomorrow night for the community flock? If you're not showing up for the flock meeting, I don't know what you're doing.
It's not tomorrow, so if he shows up, we're not.
2 nights from now. Yeah, you know, sometimes we got bugs, but you know.
Yeah, sometimes there are
Sometimes
bugs.
things don't work. You know, we always plan for the work, but you know, it doesn't work sometimes. But if you're not showing up at the flock meeting, I don't know what you guys are doing. So show up at the flock meeting, sell your house, sell whatever. Tell your girlfriend, tell your wife, tell whoever that you got to show up for the flock meeting. You got to be there in Austin, Texas. These guys will tell you some things. Dev team will show up later and tell you the real things. And then, you know, it is what it is. And
Yes, sell your house.
Boston accent's coming out right
Yeah.
now.
Who's the 20% that voted no? They don't like the guest. Come on.
the guest, what? You don't like the guest? No.
20% don't like the
You
guest.
love the guest.
Tell them, Joe.
Well, hey,
Fake.
look what
All
John.
right.
Look what John said here.
John, Flex Joe. I can't flex. No, I don't want to show up.
He says Joe looks swole.
I might be.
Well, John's gonna be at the meetup.
John's gonna be at the meetup. I'll flex for you then. If you show up for the meetup, I will flex. I'll get on stage. The dev team will lose your shirts. Let me tell you something. The dev team is jacked. We are swole. We are what you want to show up for. And if you pay enough, we will do what you want to do. So that's all there is to it. And I've been saying too much words, and I'm gonna get going. So. Hey, what you got first? Yeah, the dev team got you first round draft day. We sometimes we can do what we want to do, and sometimes we get him first round draft pick. And so if when he says he's not getting the first round draft pick, he's really not. We can't do shit. But he got lucky here, so that's it. It is what it is. Wait, you got CD Lamb first? Hang on, I want to stay until he does 24 and 25. I don't know. I play in the 18 league with my friends. What?
The lemon drink is calling you.
I got it right here.
Oh, bad. Never mind.
All right, 24-25.
Hang on. I want to be on. I want to see what he's gonna pick. Malik Neighbors. No, you know I'm picking Malik Neighbors.
Who do you?
No, you're talking to the expert right here. Don't look at it. They got like 10 sharps right here. But listen to the square. Listen to the square.
Joe actually has a channel. He'll blow up right now.
Who are we going with? We got 15 seconds.
Yo, I'm gonna pick Kyron Williams. I ain't gonna lie.
Kyron Williams?
Yeah. Now,
we get one
I
more.
really like Derrick Henry. Like, I really think he's going to pop off. See? The squares are just as sharp. So let's go with Derrick Henry. You got to reach a little bit because you're the first pick, but that's it.
This is how the creators are going to beat the developers in the Flock League.
I mean,
we have Derrick Henry coming out here, pick 20. The earliest I've taken Derrick Henry in a live stream this year.
Winning $150,000 on draft picks or whatever on Underdog, and so that is what it is. All right, boys, I'm out.
Okay,
We'll
tell you goodbye. We'll invite the next expert on. Thank you, Joe, for stopping by.
Thank you for calling me an expert.
Mason gonna kick Joe for that Henry.
Well,
I'm another developer actually.
Shout out Augustus.
You have to follow that. That's brutal.
here we go. We're gonna have to lower the energy down a bit. Zach has been put in a very difficult position here.
How am I supposed to follow that? All
Now,
right, give me some drinks.
now having to figure out how to save us from taking Derrick Henry pick 25. And here's the real
Lord.
expert advice. When the drunk casual comes onto the live stream and he tells you to pick Derrick Henry, that's how you know you should not pick Derrick Henry.
Exactly.
Is that a fair point?
I 100% agree. In fact, I saw Neighbors on the board and I thought that's the pick for best ball.
That was the pick for best ball.
Well,
but
honestly, when you asked CeeDee Lamb or Christian McCaffrey earlier, this is a 3 wide receiver start, right?
it's a three wide receivers
tourney.
going to be pushed up the entire draft here.
Yeah, I feel like any best ball draft I've ever done, if you don't go wide receiver heavy early, you're in a terrible position in like round 5, 6, 7. So I absolutely agree. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to follow that up. Maybe we'll get a couple shots going here.
Well, we'll see. We have questions to run through, my
Okay,
guy.
let's do it.
Cody says 10-team PPR double flex, Lamar, Gibbs, Montgomery, Tyreek, Adams, Andrews, Debo Higgins, Spears, Hopkins, Ladworthy, Dobbins. I think it looks like a good team. Is there any adjustments that you are making with the squad? Dude,
No.
what do you think about having Gibbs and Montgomery as your two running backs from the same offense?
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, that's the one thing I don't like. I like that in a 10-team league, you got an elite quarterback, elite tight end. But outside of that, might look to trade to just not have so much equity in one backfield. But maybe you could package like Spears and Montgomery and see what sort of running back you could get. In a 10-team, you should definitely try and tier up in that format.
Okay, yeah. I'm still trying to recover from what just happened.
Yeah, I'm still
To
trying
be
to
honest,
understand what just happened.
I'm sorry. I was trying to get him off. I was trying to get you
Don't
on.
be sorry. That was hilarious.
I was trying my best
That was
here.
actually hilarious.
But Rocker says pick 9 in a 14-team half PPR, mock draft round 1, JT, AJ, Harrison, Pacheco, round 3, Evans or Cook, round 4, Moore, Walker. Does it make sense to go after Kyler in round 5 in a 4-point passing touchdown format? Specifically in a 14-team league where like the quarterbacks are actually going to run.
Yeah.
I think it's just a little bit difficult to try to predict where those QBs are going to go.
I agree. 14-team. I mean, so are you going Murray here or what? What's your advice?
I think you have to like kind of read your room because the issue is if you look at the supply and demand of it, you could see the teams that take an elite quarterback take another QB.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Or what could happen is you could be at like the turn and you're 24 picks
Exactly.
later, and then you're like, oh, there's 7 running quarterbacks I like, and
Yeah.
they're all gone next. So I don't mind the idea, but only if you expect a run.
And because also a round 5 pick in a 14-team league in a 12-team format, that's like a round 6 pick.
Exactly.
too,
Yeah,
you know?
and I think 6 is the earliest you should go on Kyler. He's probably better as a 7th. So I say round 6, we both agree Kyler would be a smash in a 14.
Yeah, and this similar question. Our 12-team league finally expanded to a 14-team. It's a full PPR, pick 6, first few rounds. So I take 2 running backs, 2 receivers, snag a QB early. So what's really nice is pick 6 in that 14-team league. You're hopefully not going to get screwed on a run.
Yeah,
But what
exactly.
I typically say, and like the larger the format it is, like it's a 14, 16-team league. What I see is it's very difficult to predict what's going to happen. So I always just stay safe, stay flexible. I don't think you can come up with like a solid strategy before you go into it, other than kind of take best player available, stay flexible, and you're in a good spot to do so at pick 6.
100%. No, I'd agree.
I think we can't take running back here. We got screwed by Joe taking Kyron and Henry.
Well, what wide receivers are on the board?
So wide receivers, we have Pickens, McLaurin, Kirk, Ridley. Quarterback, we have Lamar. Tight end, we have Kincaid. What are you wanting here? I think maybe Pickens is like someone we have to take.
Yeah, I agree. We got to get a wide receiver. I don't hate the idea of, okay, so there's 2 options in my mind. We go Pickens, and then we also go Ridley. I don't know how you feel about Ridley this year, but I'm excited about him.
I'm fine if you want to.
The other idea is a quarterback or tight end here, if you want to get one of those elite guys.
One thing that we can think about is the guys that will be back around to us.
Yeah.
Our next few picks are going to be 72, 73. Here at 72, 73, you can go Brian Thomas, JSN, Keon Coleman, Lad McConkey.
It's a good range.
You could grab 2 of these guys. So do you want to go Lamar here and then potentially grab 2 of those wide receivers later?
I like that idea. Idea.
Perfect.
In
Let's do
the
that.
first 5 rounds, honestly, pretty much of any draft, I guess you can do different strategies, but I'm trying to get at least one elite quarterback or tight end on my roster.
Awesome. Well, you want to witness some greatness here?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, just in case y'all don't know what we are doing, we are drafting on Underdog Fantasy. These are best ball drafts, no time commitment at all during the year. So I draft hundreds of teams every year. So I won $150,000 on Underdog 2 years ago. Hopefully I can repeat it.
Cash money.
But yeah, if you want to join a draft with us, we're doing this every single night. You can find that link in the description, comment section, live chat. If you use code FLOCK, you're going to get a 50% deposit bonus up to $250. You're going to get my 2024 fantasy football rankings. You will also get our 2024 ADP consensus cheat sheet.
Come on.
Plus a Christian McCaffrey special pick of more than less than half a total yard for week 1. You do need to be in one of these states, however, if you want to draft on Underdog. Like I said, you can find that link in the description,
Not
comment
Connecticut.
section. Not Connecticut.
Not Connecticut.
Not Connecticut.
unfortunately.
RIP Connecticut. And Zach from Fantasyland here is from Australia.
Yeah, Mike.
So I'm sadly, if we have any other Australians, if Zach's mom's watching this right now, you cannot.
Hey, Mom.
You cannot draft in Australia,
No,
which I do apologize
it's,
for.
it's illegal, unfortunately. So, I mean, one day they'll get to Australia. There'll be a worldwide, prestige worldwide. They're getting there.
Joseph says 10-team PPR, 2 receivers, single flex. We have Kyler, Hall, Bijan. Having Hall, Bijan is just such a cheat code. Olave, London. We even have Laporta. The thing is,
That's
if it's a team like this, do you just assume it has to be a keeper league? Actually, oh no, it says keep one. No, I'm assuming that's Kyler, right?
Yeah, that's Kyler. K1's
Yeah.
Kyler. This is just an example of a home league, smaller league where you kind of know what you're doing and nobody else does.
But if you have Bijan Hall on the same team, how does that?
How do you also have Waddle and Cup? I saw that at the end there.
That's what I'm saying. There's no way that's like a.
Yeah, that's.
It's either a keeper
Is that
league.
Dynasty? Maybe.
No, it's not Dynasty.
You don't think so?
It's a Dynasty's not a 10-team, 2 wide receiver, single flex. It has to be a keeper league. Or it's a keeper
I've seen
league, or
some.
you need to find new people to play with because
Yeah,
clearly.
that's way too easy.
Yeah. Amiz says, if I draft Allen in the 3rd, should I stack him with Kincaid in the 5th, even if better tight ends are available? Also, would it be foolish to draft Hurts over Allen as a Philly fan? Little bias. If you really like the Eagles, I think Allen and Hurts are in the same tier. So I think it's completely fine. People play fantasy football for fun. You want to root for the Eagles, you want to root for your fantasy team, go ahead, take Jalen Hurts there. If you do take Josh Allen, I would still go like Laporta and Kelsey over Kincaid no matter what. But say you have Allen, are you going Andrews, McBride behind Kincaid at that point for the stack, or do you not care and you're just going to go?
I honestly don't like outside of best ball. I really don't care about stacks.
Okay.
So unless you're in a best ball league, I would rather just take the player that I have number 1 on my board. Do you know what I mean? So I think best ball matters. Outside of that, I really don't feel like I focus on it too much.
Cheeky Option says TikTok. We need pros versus Joes.
That's a good
Parentheses,
idea.
me. Cheeky Option will be at the meetup on
Okay.
Thursday, and
Spitting out ideas.
Yeah,
we
Cheeky
need
Option
ID, man.
has been at the meetup. I think every year we've ever had in Austin. And
OG.
Cheeky Opson remembers. He's from my hometown. We didn't know each other, but he actually lives in my hometown. And one year he brought like a super cool like denim jacket and was wearing like jeans and like a denim jacket, like a rock shirt. I don't remember what the shirt was, but like a rock shirt.
Yeah.
And I posted a picture of like everybody at the meetup like together, and someone zoomed in on him and screenshotted it and said like, "This man has no business to be this saucy at the flock
I
meetup."
love that.
You know, it was so funny.
Well, I guess now we have a competition.
Yeah.
Now you
Because
gotta rock up in your
you have
best.
some style too. Every time I hop on a call with you, just randomly, I'm like, what are you wearing?
Look, I'm trying.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
trying.
like, this looks good.
I try my best.
Okay. Dylan says, what if I'm 15 and in school and live in Cali? My guy, I'm sorry you won't be able to make it to the meetup.
Just enjoy your life. If
Yeah.
you're 15, just hey, play college football, sit in your room, play video games, go outside, enjoy nature. You got 3 more years until reality hits a little bit harder. So just enjoy your life, man. So much time left.
Adam says, send the likely 201 for Ramadre if rebuilding. No, for sure. You want the second if you're rebuilding.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think you could get the 2-1 for Ramondre next year.
Ben says, what is the cutoff at quarterback and tight end on Sleeper that you would only take 2 in a draft? So on Sleeper, I'm never taking more than 2 quarterbacks or 2 tight ends. I think maybe it's like the way like you only take 1 quarterback. What's your cutoff if you're only going to draft 1 quarterback? Like say you go Anthony Richardson, are you taking a second?
No, okay, so basically the way I view it, if I take a quarterback in the first 7 rounds,
Okay.
I've spent high investment in it.
Okay.
But if I go quarterback, let's say round 11, it's Jaden Daniels, I might not cuff him, but like get some more security with Goff, like let's say round 14, or a Justin Herbert as my last pick, because there's a little bit more risk there. But yeah, if I'm spending that high of a pick on a quarterback, I think I'm just limiting my upside later on then.
Yeah.
Especially in a 1 quarterback league, by the way.
Jayan will be at the meetup as well. Jayan, I'm sorry. I thought I could have gotten you in the league
Hook 'em.
tomorrow. You're still more than welcome to come by the Airbnb if you want to hang out. You can maybe be the host of things.
We need a host.
We need a host if you want to come be a host.
And Noah talks. That's perfect. We need someone who talks.
Yeah.
Really well.
Jayan, if you want to. Okay, real quick, we need a wide receiver.
Oh, shoot.
Who's your guy? I'm not taking Hollywood, but I'm good with anybody else.
Jason.
Literally everybody that's come on has wanted JSN.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's
we-
just
we
the
need-
cool guy to love.
we-
And
yeah.
I'm a poser. Okay.
Well, I'm a cool guy to love. I'm a cool guy.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so what are we at right now? 1 quarter. What's the tight end?
We're going to need a wide receiver. I promise
think
you on
so?
Underdog. On the
Okay.
way back around, they're going to be so gross. We
Well,
need
you
another
love
guy.
Keon here. I think you hate Lad for me to be Lad, but let's go Keon since I made the
You want
first
to go?
pick.
You want to go? If I'm allowed to make this one, I'm going to go Christian Watson.
Okay, yeah, take Watson then. Okay, so we haven't had that conversation then. What are your expectations for Watson this year? Or is it just like best
So-
ball we know what he can do if he's healthy?
So difficult.
Yeah.
Because you look at his yards per route run as a rookie, it was freaking nuts.
Yeah.
Like,
insane.
But wasn't able to stay healthy last year or the year prior.
Yeah. He did go see a specialist for the hamstring injuries. So
Oh, hopefully.
maybe they figured it out. I don't know. Like, hopefully, if they spent that much time and investment, they've actually figured it out. I think one of his hamstrings was like almost twice the size of the other or something weird.
You're
like that.
kidding.
No, like, yeah, for real.
How did I
There
not
was a
hear about
report.
this?
Yeah, maybe not twice. That's a little bit exaggerated, but like 20% bigger
How would
than
you
the
not
other.
notice that you're
it's like-
walking around?
Yeah, that would be very noticeable. But
It's like one leg is just like Arnold Schwarzenegger, the other is a peg leg.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But yeah, okay, Watson, I like that. I can't believe Kyler Murray was available that late in a best ball league.
Yeah, Kyler at
7th
75.
round, that feels
Yeah,
okay.
so I mean, Kyler typically goes to the 6-7 turn to the Trey McBride team, or he goes at the 7-8 turn to the Harrison team.
Okay,
if he
gotcha.
falls past that, like if he falls in the middle of the 8th round, I'll take Kyler unstacked and maybe look at Michael Wilson a little later.
Okay.
But yeah, he has been creeping up. Like I feel like he used to go late 7th more often.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question that I think everybody actually wants to know the answer to.
Yeah.
Okay? So you won an underdog tournament.
I won 2 underdog tournaments and got 16th place in Best Ball Mania. I'm the only
And-
person to have ever won multiple season-long underdog tournaments, according to Josh and Hayden. That's what they told me. And I know for a fact I'm the only person to have live streamed. So that team I won 100,000 with,
Yeah.
I did it in a live stream like
You
this.
could see it.
Yeah,
Okay,
so you can go back and watch the live stream.
Yeah,
and then
exactly,
I won another tournament that I won 20,000 with. And I had to do it like on a slow draft on my phone because I was like on an Alaskan cruise.
Yeah.
And the second I got back, I made a video breaking down my draft and like what I was excited about. So both tournaments and the team I got 16th place in Best Ball Mania, which was 10,000, but this year it would have been 100 with the payout structure. You can go back and I streamed that one as well. So all of them are on the channel where
That's
you can.
history. Okay, so total earnings of those 3 wins.
Those 3 was 130, but it was a year that my most drafted guy was Jacobs, and Jacobs was the league winner.
Yeah.
My second most drafted guy was Mahomes when he was going in round 5. He was the second league winner.
Yeah.
Then I had Waddle and Kenneth Walker as my next 2. Like literally, my 4 most drafted players were the 4 biggest
And
league
they
winners
hit.
that year. So
Okay.
it was just like something that will never be able to happen again. I'll remind everybody that it happened once for the next 30 years.
It's like,
you
hey,
know?
don't you forget.
Yeah.
Back 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, back in my day. Okay, so 130 bills.
And-
okay, what did you do? Did you buy anything special when you got that payout? You didn't be like, all right, I've been wanting to buy a PlayStation or a car. You're like,
I drive the same car since I've had since I was 16, my guy.
wow. So very conservative. So there wasn't like okay, let me ask you, will there be a point where there's a certain purchase you really want to buy where you're like, you know what, it's time to splurge. It's time to spend some of this money we've made.
If I won Best Ball Mania for 1.5 million, I would like a lake house. That'd be really cool.
Okay, lake house.
But I don't
Nice
real-
place to raise a family.
I like buying like nice food at like a restaurant, you know?
Yeah.
Like I go to like not like fancy steakhouses, but like good restaurants. And every time I go out to eat, it's my issue. Like I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do anything.
Yeah.
But every time I go out, almost every time I order 2 meals. That's kind of my thing. That's what I let myself spend
And
money
you're able
on.
to eat both of them?
Yeah. I mean, I have a problem.
Wow.
But
that's crazy. But you're also working out like every single day.
yeah, like I pretty much
You're
averaging
burning
10 miles a
calories
day.
like crazy.
Okay, real quick, we can go ahead. We can take another top end quarterback here with either Love or Dak if we want to stack with either Watson or Lamb. Dak goes.
I like Love here. I think that makes.
Do we
want
want to take Love and then be done at quarterback, and then we could go Romeo Dobbs and set up a double stack. I don't care as much about doing that. Really, after we go Love, I don't care what you
Okay,
want to
well
do
then
here.
let's go Love and Palmer.
Love and Palmer.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Palmer this year. I think a lot of people had expectations that Quentin Johnson would step up last year.
Okay.
He didn't. It was Palmer who stepped up when Keenan Allen was out. So he's already got rapport with Justin Herbert. I think there will be spike games, personally. Like they're going to be in a division with Patrick Mahomes. They're going to play at least 2 games versus the Chiefs. They're going to have to put up some points. So we like Palmer in best ball simply because he's gonna have to. We're not taking Quentin Johnston.
You want to hear something funny? I have 14% Quentin Johnson. This
Oh,
year.
please.
Everybody.
He's not even like the wide receiver 4 now.
I know. So literally every time I go to take Quentin Johnson, everybody hates it so much in the live stream. Everybody just screams at me.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I just go, yeah, I've never actually drafted this guy, but everybody in the stream loves me taking
I
him.
love it when you do that.
Yeah. So
So it's
we're
funny,
gonna,
Badaki does the same thing on our stream. He's
really?
always taking Quentin Johnson. I'm always telling him, please stop taking Quentin Johnston.
my thing is just like, he's a certified bum, but when he goes around after Jalen Tolbert, even when he goes
Sure.
around 2 rounds after Rashad Bateman,
yeah.
who are also certified bums,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a relatively open depth chart with good quarterback play.
Yeah.
Who cares?
It's just hard to hear that he's playing behind Chark and he's like the 5th receiver, but hey, anything's possible.
Stevens. Oh, I think maybe we missed one. Yeah, we almost missed these. We almost missed a bunch of these. Isaac, longtime member of the flock, says, my guy, this is maybe a bigger monitor. I've never noticed that your photoshopped hat
Did you
says
sell
flock.
that hat or did he make that custom? Have you ever sold that hat?
Are you joking?
No.
That's
Deadass.
that's Photoshop, my guy.
Holy hell. Well, great job of being a Photoshop person.
Yeah, Photoshop flock hat on. Says 12 team HN keeper league. Double flex,
That's
pick
hilarious.
11. Am I crazy wanting to draft 2 of Gibbs, Kyron, Saquon? Yeah, 100%. Like I think if you're looking at ESPN values there at wide receiver rounds 4, 5, 6, where you can get Zay
time.
Flowers, Tank Dell, Devonta Smith, I think go for it, my
It
guy.
also depends on your keepers, right? Like what your league is doing with the keepers,
Yeah.
because that will determine the draft board and ADP.
Ryan says 12 team full PPR pick 4. Brees, Bijan, Chase, St. Brown. 2 receivers, single flex. Who should we pick? So 2 wide receivers, single flex. I personally rank it Brees, Bijan, St. Brown, Chase. What do you do?
Yeah, start 7. I think I'm with you, man. If it was a start 8, I think I'd go Monroe.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am right now.
Yeah.
Like on Underdog, I have Brees, Bijan ranked 7 and 8 at the end of that like tier. But in your like start 7 home league, I have them 4 and 5.
So question on, we don't get to do much Underdog in Australia. Is there any tournament that is not 3 wide receiver start?
So the Superflex tournaments that they have, they take away a starting wide receiver slot and they put in a Superflex.
Okay. But everything else is 3.
But everything else is 3 wide receiver and half PPR.
Understood.
But to be honest, even in like the league where you only start 2, like the Superflex formats, people still push up quarterback.
Yeah.
There, I think they do it way too much. Like there, I kind of go, I don't want to go 0 wide receiver. And also, keep in mind, I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about because I've gotten crushed in those tournaments every year.
Well, I mean, you've won over $100,000. So.
Well, I'm saying in the Superflex tournaments, I've only lit money
Sure.
on fire.
Sure.
But JSD says 10-team PPR redraft. Quarterback, we have Hurts. Running back, we have Saquon Etienne. Wide receiver, Harrison Ayuk. Tight end, we have Kittle. On the bench, we have Keenan, Mostert, Worthy. Should we try to upgrade wide receiver 2 with an Etienne Ayuk package for Ramondre and Adams?
I think you're downgrading.
Yeah, you're downgrading. I think Ayuk to Adams is a lateral move, and then going from Etienne to Ramondre is downgrade. If you what would you do if they traded Keenan, like Keenan
Use
and
Keenan.
Etienne?
Yeah, use Keenan, Etienne, or Keenan and or Keenan. Yeah, like Keenan should be the main piece if you're trying
Or
to tier up.
Ayuk and Mostert.
Yeah,
You want to go Ayuk and Mostert
I'm
to
fine with
Etienne?
that.
I'm sorry, Ayuk and Mostert to Adams, Ramondre. I think you can do that as well.
yes.
Okay, so we're about to be up again. I think we can do anything but quarterback. So who are you wanting here? Wide receiver, we have Lamb, Pickens, JSN,
Is
Watson,
there
Palmer.
any tight ends even worth talking about? Or is
No, I mean Freidmuth is
Okay,
the
so
best
it's
guy.
worth
We're just going to
punting.
go 3
Yeah.
tight ends late.
Let's what running backs? I love Corum here.
You like Corum? We'll take him.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
we have
think Corum
Kyron.
is-
We literally, I think it was
Oh,
either for
okay.
the Fantasyland football channel or my football channel.
It's
my
yours.
YouTube channel. Yeah, Zach went in depth of taking Kyron Williams and Blake Corum on the same team.
Yes, I know we don't want to limit our upside, but watch the video. I think that's the one tips or
Yeah,
something.
that
The tip
one may
video.
come out tomorrow. But you should see a bunch of videos on Fantasyland involving myself, a bunch of videos on the channel involving Zach and Badaki from Fantasyland.
Yeah.
But next guy, who are we thinking? We got
I'm
10
gonna let you
seconds.
make this one. With
If we're
pressure
going to
on the
make one,
clock.
I still think we're kind of playing catch up. I think we
Okay.
go Lockett, pair him up with JSN, and say, what if the passing volume is better than people expect, or what if
fine
Metcalf
with
gets
that.
hurt?
Yeah.
And both guys get the bump. So we'll go ahead and we'll take
you know what?
both.
Man, I think JSN can be so good if they just prioritize him. I hope they actually prioritize him.
Yeah,
we'll find out.
We'll see. We'll see.
I really do think he can be. But yeah, hey, use code FLOCK. The guy's won over $100,000. He knows what he's talking about.
Maybe.
What more do you need to see?
Mason says Zay Henry or Pacheco Addison, 10-team PBR double flex dynasty. Well, we got a dynasty guy here.
Dynasty. Okay, that's important.
So Henry to Pacheco, massive upgrade.
This is very
Zay
easily
to
Pacheco.
Addison. Yeah, this is Pacheco and Addison. I think Zay
Very
to
easily.
Addison is a slight downgrade, and Henry to Pacheco is a massive
Yeah,
upgrade.
Dynasty, no question.
Steven says, hey, Flock, would you trade Jacobs, Amari, and Ford for Brees and Rome? Oh, hell yeah. Ford for Rome,
Yes.
massive upgrade. Jacobs and Amari
As
for
long as
Brees.
you're not in like a 14-team start then,
Yeah.
then yes.
Diego says, I'm in a Yahoo 10-team half PPR with pick 3. Should I play it safe and go Hall over Lamb, considering Allen pick 2, picking Travis pick 3? I would go Lamb still over Brees Hall. I understand where you're coming from,
Yeah,
but
I agree.
it is what it is.
Someone said you'd buy an antenna with your money.
Oh, yeah. Do not.
Is there some joke there?
So usually when we're at my house, the reason we're at this setup is because the girlfriend, went to New York to
Yes.
do Happy Gilmore.
Oh, she's gone.
She's gone. She
Okay.
left. But usually how we're able to stream at my house is she stands on the roof with an antenna for a couple hours to give me good, a good connection.
Dedication.
Exactly. Zach
She sees a vision.
Zach met her, so you saw her big muscular arms
Oh
to
yeah,
hold the antenna
built.
up.
Built.
Yeah.
I mean, you're both pounding calories.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
day and in the gym. So I see why you're both doing 2 meals.
Yeah, so maybe one of these days, if we win Best Ball Mania, I don't think I'll buy an antenna stand, but I'll probably buy like something to prop her arm up,
Yeah, that's perfect.
Make it a little bit easier.
Make it a little bit easier, a little more efficient.
And just in
You
case
could
y'all,
probably stream for longer.
yeah, exactly, maybe. And just in case you're coming in right now, we are Not responsible for the first 3 rounds. We had a drunk flockfantasy.com developer come on. Take Derrick Henry at pick 25. Y'all know I have not done that. Zach is trying to save this team for us after we got it put in a hole. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
I think we've done decent.
Dylan says 900 likes for a 4th draft, everyone. I was not planning on a 4th draft. It is almost midnight here. We are outside. Hopefully the neighbors don't get too mad.
Late.
But if we hit 900 likes before this draft ends, we'll fire up another one.
Fired up.
Wendy says, what's your favorite draft strategy when drafting the puppy drafts? And when do you target stacks? Target stacks throughout the entire board. In the puppy tournament, you just have to be really optimizing for weeks 15, 16, 17. And weeks 1 through 14, those points are going to matter just significantly less than the final 3 weeks. Braden says, would you draft Jamison Williams or Brian Thomas? I would go Brian Thomas relatively easily.
Yeah, I love Jamison Williams, but I 100% agree with you. I think Brian Thomas is a sneaky player that could finish top 20 this year. We're not talking enough about.
After we make this pick, let's definitely talk about Jamison for a little bit.
Yes.
And yeah, shout out Danny for holding up the antenna.
He's still up there.
Yeah, Danny's up there.
He's still up there.
Firing
and
up
he is also drunk, so we should maybe check on him.
Is he drunk?
Yes.
I guess after the NFL draft one night,
tell the eyes.
because I went on the FSC Fantasy Stock Exchange YouTube channel for the NFL draft. And then I was just hanging out because I was like doing work. It was whenever I went to the NFL draft, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then afterwards I was like, yeah, y'all can come on. We can do like a little recap video. Danny was so drunk. He had drank like 3 bottles of wine. And my videos, like, obviously I'm not doing stuff like that. And Danny said, I wouldn't bat an eye. Like, he just kept on going, like, if he was that, I wouldn't bat an eye. Every sentence he said, I wouldn't bat an eye. It was like,
Must have had a screw loose or something.
yeah. Okay, if I get one pick here, I'm going Tyler Algier if I'm allowed to.
Okay, I mean, yeah, that's fine.
That's
fine with me.
After that, you do you.
Well,
you
do you
want to
go double running back, or what's your idea here?
Dude,
Or do you want to start targeting tight ends?
I think specifically probably running back tight end makes the most sense for us.
Okay, let's look at the tight ends
At this point, so tight end we have Komet and Musgrave in play.
Ugh.
If you don't like either of those guys, we could double up on running back.
I hate Komet. I'll tell you why, but I think Wright's the right pick here, to be honest, dude,
Okay.
personally.
Let's go Jalen Wright.
I think Jalen Wright's the right pick. With Komet, every indication so far is that Gerald Everett might get more targets this year.
Yeah.
So it's hard to really bet on that. And Luke Musgrave, who knows? Like, he might have been the right pick, actually, now that I think about it. Old Lukey.
And in terms of, like, if we didn't take...
Derrick Henry really screwed this up.
Actually, Musgrave possibly would have been the pick since we have Love only stacked with Watson, so we could afford it to add another piece to it. But I mean, we'll figure it out. One thing that I have noticed is Musgrave is falling in these drafts at the moment.
Yeah.
He's not going to make it back to us at 168, but in terms of like his ADP being there, it does look like he's probably going to be trending towards being a 14th round pick in these drafts rather than a 13th one.
Yeah.
But yeah. Andrew says, how does the flock tournament feel so fast? Got to open that longer so we can't draft at work. Yeah, I mean, if y'all have not, on Underdog every Monday and Thursday, there's a flock tournament that drops. So if you can, I'd love for you to hop in it with us and draft with us there.
I'm going to be drafting there tomorrow, so see you guys there.
Oh, well, yeah, we're doing a flock league tomorrow. So just a heads up for everybody. And let me grab this link for y'all
You
real
got a
quick.
big Komet stan community here. I've never seen anyone stan Cole Komet, but you've got a big Komet community.
Mateo has so I'm going to be honest with y'all. I know this is very rude for me to say out loud, and I probably shouldn't say this.
Oh, gosh.
But
Late night stream.
if you have a profile pic of the team that the players
I know where this is going.
referring to, I don't listen to it. So if you have a Seattle Seahawks profile pic and you scream that Jackson Smith and Jigba is phenomenal, I don't listen because I just assume that you're kind of being a fan.
Which is not a bad thing. But
Yeah. And maybe I'm biased because I'm not a fan of any team, so blah, blah, blah. Maybe it's like, oh, I'm a fan of a team, so actually I know more. So maybe I shouldn't do this. But I'm just letting you know how my brain works, whether it's right or wrong, that's kind of the situation that I'm in.
So you're like the NBA fan who's like, what's your team? And they're like, I like LeBron James.
That's literally exactly how I am.
And that's who I like.
And the reason for it, I think I maybe already told you this, is, and yeah, this is a great example too. JN here. JN, hopefully he can make it to the draft tomorrow. Maybe he's going to do like hosting and stuff for us.
Yeah.
He helps me out with so much stuff, but he's awesome. He's been with us forever. But yeah, JN, not gonna lie, anytime you say anything about Longhorns, I don't listen to you. But a couple of years ago when Duvernay was a good round 18 pick, JN had drafted like almost 100% of
He knew
them,
it?
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Just but he's also probably drafted 100% of
Right.
other Longhorns that did nothing. Okay, and also real quick, so tomorrow we are having the Flock League. We're gonna have a big video come out. We're gonna do like knockout to determine draft order. It's gonna be a big draft log. We came up with some really fun punishments and some really fun rewards for the winner.
Yeah.
So it should be a super high stakes league. It's definitely going to be the league that I care most about this year by a wide margin. So you'll be hearing a lot about it. If you want to follow along with that, we do have a new channel that's just called Flock League. I just sent the link in the YouTube live chat. We don't have any videos posted yet. Tomorrow will be the first time that we are recording something. Should be a lot of fun though, but we're going to have a ton of fantasy football YouTubers in the league.
Oh yeah.
Ton of content. And it's not going to be like, if you want to subscribe to that channel, it's not going to be like fantasy football advice. I'm not going to tell you like, oh, you need to draft this running back.
No.
It's going to be more behind the scenes, fun stuff.
It'll
You'll get
be
to see
strictly Joe.
Exactly. You'll get to see more drunk Joe probably.
Yeah, just Joe, every video, just drunk giving advice.
Vinny says, Mason, did you bring the Flock Fantasy helmet with you? Yes. If we get another draft going, I'll put the Flock Fantasy helmet on for a decent bit. But it was in the video today if you didn't see it.
Yeah.
And shout
sick.
out Green Eye. Let me go grab a link for y'all because may take me a little bit. Maybe I'll post the link in the live chat tomorrow. But
Yes.
a Green Gridiron made the coolest Flock helmets.
So cool.
Literally the coolest.
Crispy.
But here, I think that we're really looking at tight end if we can get them.
Okay. I actually love Noah Fant this year. We have so many.
Yeah,
Seahawks,
we're all
so.
Seattle.
So that probably rules him out. Hey,
I mean, we can do it if you want it. If you love them.
do you want to double tight end and go like?
Well, yeah, we can double tap tight ends. If
So
you
let's
want.
go Fant and like. Who's another tight end you like here?
I'm between Conklin, Kate Otten. I'm fine with either or,
Okay.
but I don't want likely Sanat. We could possibly get around 17.
Well,
So-
I'll say Fant. I'm a big fan of him this year.
So Fant, and then between Conklin, Otten, do you have a preference?
They're both so boring. Conklin, I guess.
Okay, let's do it.
There's less. I feel like less. You got Godwin, Evans. In New York, it's Garrett Wilson, and we don't know who else is going to be relevant. So
Yeah. Did you hear something over there?
I definitely heard like something in the bushes.
I pray to God it's not the neighbors coming over here to tell us to be quiet.
Oh my gosh, we're so far away from anyone now. That would be
Actually,
rough.
there's a house like right there.
Oh,
The
shoot,
dog was
really?
barking.
Oh damn.
That's why I was like, whenever Joe was here, I didn't care that he was like doing stuff on the stream, but I was just like,
Let's get Joe to go talk to him. Maybe so
smooth things
it's
over.
chill.
Camden says 14 team PPR and Njoku Reed for Amari Komet. Reed for Amari, slight upgrade, and Njoku for Komet, big time downgrade. I'd probably go Njoku Reed. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm with you there. Same thought process.
Mr. Pickle Hut Fader says, I love the Browns, but in fantasy, I can't because of Browns bias. Like, honestly, if I was a fan of a team, I probably would go through and take a bunch of the players in my main league that I care about because I feel like it'd just make it a more fun experience for you to go through and root for people. But have I told you the reason I'm not a fan of an NFL team?
Can't remember.
So it's literally, I didn't watch the NFL at all.
Yeah.
And then when I was a kid, my mom invited me into her like home work league.
Yeah.
Fantasy
Oh,
football
right,
team.
right, right,
And then I just took it over. So essentially I started playing fantasy football and then I got into the NFL
That's
rather
awesome.
than I feel like most people
Yeah. It's the
do
opposite.
NFL
Yeah.
then fantasy. So like, and also I grew up in a place that we didn't have a team. I grew up in like San Antonio. So you're kind of Dallas, kind of Houston, but you don't
You
have
gotta
one.
decide if you want to ruin your life and be a Cowboys fan
Yeah.
or, just not cheer for anyone. So you made the right choice, obviously.
Yeah, and then I moved to Tampa for a year and I tried to cheer for the Bucks. Like I tried to be a Bucks fan. It was right after when they won the Super Bowl. And I would literally watch the game and just like be concerned about how many points Chris Godwin scored. Like I had like tried to root for him because I had a bunch of friends that would obviously root for him. But it was just like hard for me to do it.
Well, so you have no favorite team. I have two favorite teams. You might get hate for that. I get probably more hate for
Why
having
don't
two
you
favorite
just
teams.
send one over to me?
Yeah, exactly. Which one do you want?
Definitely Chiefs.
Yeah, okay. You take the Chiefs then. I'll live in agony with the Commanders.
Yeah, if y'all don't know, Zach is a fan of both the Chiefs and the Commanders. Literally for videos today, he was wearing a Chiefs hat for the majority of them, and then he was about to talk about Jaden Daniels, and he takes off his Chiefs hat and throws on a Commanders hat.
Yeah, got to represent. Which, by the way, I swore I would never buy any Commanders gear because I hate the rebrand, but
Honestly, the hat you have looks pretty cool.
the hat is not like the W is cool. Everything else is so bad for the rebrand. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Did you like when it was just the Washington football team?
that looked better.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like I think I would confidently say we have the worst uniforms in all of sports. Like very easily.
They're pretty bad.
Yeah.
You know who I think is, this is how you know we're deep into a live stream. By the time I always get to the third, fourth draft, I'm always completely off the rails and never talking about anything.
No idea what we're talking
The
about.
best NFL uniforms in my mind, Chargers, Dolphins. Color scheme
big
wise.
time. Chargers are
scheme.
my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Color scheme, I love the Chargers and
Chargers
Dolphins.
are super clean. I'm a big fan of like aesthetics.
Please spam the chat. What is your favorite color scheme NFL team? Caesar says 10-team happy be our fifth pick. What should we do? If it's a 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, fifth pick, if you get Bijan Brees making it 2, I go with them and then try to get an elite quarterback, elite tight end rounds 3 and 4.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Let's move this back. Dylan says, I think Ayuk, if he resigns, has the potential to be in a Harrison Puka range at the end of the season. I'm a Niners fan. Yeah, going back to it.
Yeah.
I don't hate it, though, because, I mean, Ayuk does look like one of the better receivers in the NFL in an offense that
time.
projects out to be the highest scoring team in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree. You would need an injury though, unfortunately, for that to happen.
Okay, so I think we need a wide receiver, we need a tight end, and we could potentially go running back, but more likely than not, we're not going to. Honestly, no, we can't go with another running back.
That's crazy. We're looking at Jordan Whittington here. That is insane. Is there a tight end you like here?
Jawan got some positive buzz in a lot of drafts. Jawan wasn't taken earlier this offseason because it looked like he was going to miss time. So let's take Jawan, and then we're going to be done at tight end after that.
Okay. Wide receiver wise, to me, there's a couple names that stand out if you're just taking a shot here.
What guy?
Maybe Roman Wilson is a name.
I've taken a lot of Roman. I feel I don't talk about it because it's embarrassing. But in terms of dollars spent, because I've taken him a bunch in like round 18 of high stakes drafts, he's like top 5 in my most dollars spent, which I would never recommend someone in. He's not even worth a roster spot in a regular redraft league.
Watch how you get traded to Pittsburgh. And you're like, all right, well, that was fun.
I was really, really worried about it when the Ayuk stuff looked like it was for sure going down.
Yeah.
I was sitting here going, oh
Well,
my
I love
gosh.
George Pickens. I've been talking about him all offseason and hearing those rumors. I was literally making my guys video and I was like, it was deep into the conversation. I was like, I can't make him a my guy. What if I release this video tomorrow and he's
Oh yeah, no.
like,
when you're
Ayuk's a
recording a
Steeler.
video, you gotta avoid all like
literally? I was
Steelers
like, I
and,
can't do this. It's not possible.
Elite Henry asking for doing another draft tonight. If we hit 900 likes, we'll fire up another one. My guy, if not, we can get one going tomorrow. Of course, we'll be doing this every night. Aaron says 12-team PPR 101. I'm not sure if I'm overthinking this, but I was going to follow the hero RB strategy with CMC, or is Lamb Tyreek safer? Just curious. So my take with CMC is he's a 28-year-old running back coming off 400 touches that is dealing with a calf strain, but he scored 100 more points in the RB2 next to last year.
He scored more points than any player on a points per game basis in fantasy, including quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That's mental. So I think if you know that wide receivers will be available later in your drafts, if you know your league like that, I would be taking CMC first, but it just depends.
Dear God, how?
These guys are going.
Yeah,
off.
these guys are. I can hear. Don't stop believing blasting inside. These guys are drunk as hell.
Well, yeah, I can't say what we were talking about inside actually.
God, don't look at them. The last thing we need is
Don't give
Joe
them
here.
attention.
The last thing we need is Joe coming out.
Joe, the people want you.
No. Do not. We do not need him outside.
Give the people what they want. Is it Tuesday? What day is it?
They're probably listening to us. Oh dear God.
It is Tuesday. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Yes.
Club going up.
If you guys don't know, by the
Tuesday.
way, we flew 25 hours
Yeah.
total to get here. So we don't know what day it is or what time it is almost at any moment. And we're just catching up as we go.
Yeah. Zach and Badaki had to come here like 3 days early to just try their best to recover in a hotel. I can't even imagine the 25-hour day of travel.
It was pretty intense. And yeah, it was difficult to recover. 3 days in a row, we could not sleep throughout the entire night. We just sat there and looked at each other in the room. We're like, it'd be nice to sleep, right? We just keep staring at each other.
Look, they're going, give us Joe.
The people want Joe.
This is not
honestly.
even the people. This is the people inside. This is Domain Fantasy Football.
No, look, Callan's saying Joe for president. Or
look,
that might be
look,
Biden.
Look what Badaki said. Spam Joe in the chat.
The people want Joe.
No, I think they're trying to make the people want Joe, and the people don't want Joe.
You're going to end up having a weekly segment, and he's going to have to get drunk before he comes on. It's going to be terrible for his health.
Besnick says, I have the 101. Thank you, Josh Allen. Yes or no? If it's super flex, I think you can do it. If it's a redraft league, there's no way.
One quarterback, yeah.
Okay.
They want Joe.
Rico says, pick 5. Hell yes. Rico is a long time member of the flock. Happy to see you, my guy. Happy to see that you're still rocking with us. Pick 5, St. Brown, Cup, Evans through the first 3. Getting ETN as the anchor RB there at 44. Going Kincaid 53. I really like Kincaid at 53. Saw him fall to the 6th round in the draft prior. I'd be a little worried if Kincaid keeps falling, but
It's always so crazy to see the running backs, how they fall in these leagues.
Deontay Johnson is 68, someone I'm not taking at all, especially with Deontay Johnson. Like, he was already dealing with an injury and came back from his just to deal with a separate one in a low volume offense.
Yeah.
And the thing is, too, I think you take Deontay Johnson there if you're desperate for wide receiver points. But if you go like St. Brown, Cup, Evans, you're not desperate for wide receiver points.
No, I think in a best ball, Deontay doesn't make much sense in your traditional format. I think he's a secure option in PPR, but
so
best ball, I don't think you're getting many 30
almost rather go like Kamara as your RB2.
Yeah, exactly.
And then also if I go Daniels Goff this early, if I'm going to go with the third quarterback, I probably don't take one there with Stafford. I'd probably wait a little bit longer.
Quarterbacks feels too quick in a row like that, but
okay, so I think we are wanting I think we can go running back or receiver. Whoever you want here. We can either.
Running back or receiver? Okay.
We can scroll down if there's anybody that catches your
Tim
mind.
Patrick here.
What do you have any interest in Brendan? I mean, we can go Tim Patrick.
Yeah, Brendan Rice is actually not a bad option either. He's moving up the depth chart. He's already passed Quentin Johnson. So if you want to take someone, it's probably
if I want to take someone that's going to catch a ball from Herbert.
Exactly.
Let's go with Tim Patrick. We'll lock him in. This is probably looking like the last draft of the day here.
Yes.
But
it's late. We got to sleep, people.
Much love. I look at what Vadaki just sent. Vlogfantasy.com.
Use the promo code Joe.
Yeah, use code Joe for half off White
cameo
Claws
from him every night.
But all jokes aside, Underdog Fantasy, code FLOCK if you want to hop in a draft with us. We'll be live tonight, tomorrow, the next night, doing fantasy football drafts. Plus, if you are interested over on vlogfantasy.com, everybody who came on today, everybody you're going to see in the videos all week, you can find their rankings over there, all their premium content over there as well. And if you use code LAND, Zach will break down your... What's your land
If you use a promo code LAND, we'll break down your fantasy team. You can also DM us if you got any questions. You get the cheat sheet. Cheat sheet's got my guys. It's got fades. It's got boom busts. It's got sleepers. It's updated every week. Positional rankings. We've got databases on the website. I mean, and you guys aren't even ready for what the website's about to look like, by the way.
Yeah, but
it's about to
that's
be
why I haven't been
changer.
promoting it much on here. I'm just... We need to get this redesign done. And then
let's get these devs in shape right now. I mean, they're getting drunk. They should be working on the website. I'm just kidding.
Ed asking if Underdog's ever coming to Michigan. My guy, Underdog, is in Michigan right now. You can see the map here.
Your day
this
was
is where
just made.
Underdog is. So, yes, Underdog wasn't in Michigan for a little bit, but he's been in Michigan for like 6 months now. But, yeah, again, vlogfantasy.com, code LAND. Underdog Fantasy. Want to hop in a drive with me? Code FLOCK. But much love. Really do appreciate you. And really hope get to see you out with the draft stream tomorrow or at the meetup on Thursday.
All love.